Find Mr. Molden. Bring him here.
Londo, don't do this.
I have no choice.
Yes, you do. Londo, please, please, please. I know you don't listen to me, but I'm asking you just this one time. Don't do this. There's no turning back once you start down that road.
Do I have to go find him myself?
No. No, I'll go. I'll go and I'll bring him back. And someday I'm going to remind you of this conversation. And maybe then you'll understand.
I understand. Just fine. By this time tomorrow, we will be at war with the Nan. May the Great Maker forgive me.
Okay. Hang on. The other one had some ASMR at the beginning. Oh, no, not the slurping, though. Okay. Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Kosh. Because we're all Kosh.
Every time now? Every time?
We're all always Kosh.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
And I'm Matt.
Welcome. No, God damn it. This isn't the strange. You threw me off.
We are all Kosh.
A Babylon 5 podcast. Okay, everybody enjoy that moment of levity because that's it. That's it. It's all you get. It's all you get for the whole rest of however long it takes us to talk about this episode because I brought in 2 cans of alcoholic beverage. Matt has a very full glass. We are settled in. It has taken us like 4 hours of mental lead up to get to this.
We watched this episode. We watched another episode for reference. We watched this episode again.
That means we did research.
Or at least review.
I often think about that because there are people who do these things and they do a lot of research. And I do some, but a lot of what we do is just what I guess is considered companion podcasting, where it's just 2 people shooting the shit about a thing. And that's what I really like about it. But sometimes I'm like, should I do more research? Should I have more to say? But
I think there's a place for that. But it's not really our thing. So we don't need to exhaustively cross-reference every plot beat from every episode to every other episode.
At least not in this run-through. The place for that, I think, would have been Forever Night, where there are a lot of Babylon 5 podcasts all doing the damn thing, like really doing a good job, and all filling different niches.
Yeah, the Babylon 5 community is a lot more comprehensive.
Yeah, but to date, we are the only podcast who has ever covered the entirety of Forever Night. So, just putting that out there. So we'll talk about Babylon 5 Season 2, Episode 9, The Coming of Shadows.
Which is also the name of Season 2.
Yes. Yeah. The Season 2 arc chapter title. This originally aired the 1st of February, 1995. And it was written by, surprise, surprise, JMS.
Who else could have done it?
If someone else had, I'd have been like, who gave him the plot beats for this shit? Did you sign off on that, Straczynski? Oh, my God. It was directed by Janet Greek, who we've seen before, and it has a P5 rating of 9.59.
That's pretty high.
Out of 10. The highest is 10. So it was considered by fans at the time to be an almost perfect episode. And is widely considered, as far as I could tell, poking around on the internet, to be one of the best, if not the best, episode of Babylon 5. It won the 1996 Hugo Award for Best Dramatic Presentation. And I didn't realize that in the Hugo Awards, television episodes compete with like whole ass movies. It beat Apollo 13 to take the movie to take home that Hugo Award. It also beat the DS9 episode, The Visitor. I thought it was really funny. Somebody asked, because Babylon 5 had been in the running for the Hugo Award the previous year and had been beat out by Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And so they were like, why do you think that the Deep Space Nine got the Hugo Award last year and you got it this year? And JMS literally said, we had more high quality episodes. So more of our episodes were entered into the contest. And so
the votes were split amongst a swath of Babylon 5 episodes, whereas Deep Space Nine
only had a couple.
Fewer.
It had fewer quality episodes, quality enough to even be entered into the competition. And he said that what he did this year was focus, like only put in a couple of episodes. So he wasn't dividing his audience. And that's ultimately how it won the Hugo Award. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the side characters in this. We have the Ranger guy who doesn't have another name. He's just the Ranger. And he is played by Frederick Lehne. Lane? Laney?
Lane sounds.
I don't know. It's
Likely.
just Frederick Lane, I guess. He played Marshall Edwards on Lost. Like Lost, the TV show, which also starred Mira Furlan. She was also in Lost. And he was also in Fortress 2: Reentry. The gift that keeps on giving as Gordon. And he was in Preacher, which I would love to do Preacher someday too, because how did that show get on television? How? William Forward reprises his role as Rifa. We've already talked about him, so go back, listen to our back catalog. We love you. The guy who played the Emperor, who actually did not have a name.
He was just
the Emperor. His name was Turan Bey. Turhan, and then Bey, Bey. And he's a Turkish actor. And apparently he first auditioned for the role of the techno mage, the head techno mage.
Oh.
And so he came on set to read for the part, and everybody thought he was like the sweetest, cutest little old guy. And when he didn't get the part, everyone was really sad. So they specifically invited him back to be the Emperor.
Nice.
And then everyone was pissed because he dies in the same episode.
So he doesn't get to be a recurring character.
He doesn't even get, but they cast him again as a Minbari later, named Turval. And that is actually his last acting credit.
Aw.
He didn't die until 2012, but he doesn't act anymore after that last episode of Babylon 5 that he's in. His first acting credit was in 1941.
Wow.
So he falls very solidly under the list of people that Babylon 5 got to catch the tail end of their career. All of these amazingly accomplished TV actors and movie actors who had been very well known in their time and were at the tail end of their career. And they got to get them and give them these amazing roles where they get to just chew the scenery for 45 minutes and then go back to retirement.
Yep.
And it was such a sweet spot. I know we've already talked about it before, but I think we should have an appreciation for the access to talent that they had.
Yeah.
But a talent that we don't have anymore, that silver screen talent, the dramatic actor, the people that were always acting for the audience in the back. I miss that style of acting. I miss that dramatic presentation. And I love going back to these older shows and getting to revisit it. And then I love it when they show up in the 90s because I get to see it in the more modern setting, but juxtaposed against these more traditional TV actors. I just love it. I'm never going to stop talking about it. And then Neil Bradley, Jonathan Chapman, Brian Michael McGuire, Kim Strauss are all in this. And there are some of the stable actors, the ones that they would bring back over and over again. Okay. Like the Narn that Jakar talks to on the TV is one of them. Kamak.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see a couple of them in this. I didn't want to skip them just because we see them a lot. So I'll list them out. And then we have never talked about it, but the guy who does Kosh's voice is a guy named... You're not ready for this.
I was wondering about it. Go ahead.
You're not ready for this. Are you ready? Ardwhite Chamberlain. Ardwhite. What a name.
Huh.
Like Aardvark, A-R-D, and then White, W-I-G-H-T. Ardwhite Chamberlain. And he does Kosh and like anime dubbing, and that's it.
I've heard of Ard as a nickname.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what the full name was.
But I don't know if Ard is a nickname for Ardwhite or if Ard is a nickname in the same way that sometimes Christopher is Topher or Alexander is Xander. Where you grab the end of it. Like maybe you're Richard and you don't want to be Dick, so you're Ard instead. But yeah, pretty much just anime dubbing and Kosh.
Cool.
I wonder what they paid him because he literally just has to go like, yes, in fire. And they do all the post effects to his voice. So he just has to be dramatic. That's all he has to do. I don't know. So somebody asked JMS about, was it hard to write this episode? Because this episode is
dense.
It's dense and it's heavy. Like it's not just dense in that like it would be hard to structure this narratively, but a lot of bad things happen to good characters.
Yeah, we were halfway through watching this, and I told Rachel, we're going to need to watch this again.
You were like, there's so much going on. I can't. And he said, yes, on several levels, writing The Coming of Shadows was hard. He said, yeah, on several levels, writing The Coming of Shadows was hard. There were times I felt as though I jumped onto the back of a runaway dynamite truck. And he also referred to the ability to feel the arc of the story moving underneath you throughout the whole episode, as if there's some huge dark fish about to break the surface.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. And he also said the only way to make a viewer feel a character's pain is if you feel it in the writing. And he said, I live with these characters running around in my head 24 hours a day. And when I finally finished Shadows, it was if they all sort of looked at me and then looked at each other and said, geez, thanks ever so fucking much. Why don't you just go pluck someone's eye out while you're at it? To which my only reply is, now that you mention it, ... You son of a bitch. And then he said about Turin, which they retroactively named the Emperor Turin. In Turin's name. I know. They said he originally came into audition for Elric in geometry, but they wanted someone with more menace, which is why they went with the other guy. And that they were all just so blown away with how sweet and wonderful and nice of a person he was that when he left, they were like, I'm going to write a part just for him. And they did. And then they cast him in it. And then everyone on the set loved him to the point that at the end of the shoot, they were like, you bastard, how could you bring this wonderful man here and then kill him off so we can't have him back? And then somebody asked him, I swear to God, I didn't make this up. This is a period question. Are the Rangers a reference to the Chuck Norris series Walker, Texas Ranger?
What?
It haunts me. That show haunts me. Is it because I liked it when it was on? Is that what this is? Is this penance? He goes, with which you were involved. Or is it a reference to the Rangers in Tolkien's Lord of the Rings? Can you imagine being like, is it like Ranger like Chuck Norris Ranger? Or is it Ranger like Aragorn Ranger? Like those two things.
Obviously Aragorn.
Like those two things are even remotely the same. He said no, like Army Rangers. Like that's what he was going for.
Oh, okay.
So option C, none of the above. He said the concept for me wasn't really tied to Norris. That isn't the reference I was talking about. He said when he worked on Walker, Texas Ranger, he did a lot of research about Rangers and he came across the concept of like Army Rangers. And so that's more or less what he based it on. He thought that name fit better for what they did.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about either the two most well-known Ranger properties, Walker, Texas Ranger or Lord of the Rings. And he said that their costume isn't really supposed to look medieval. They're supposed to be like Minbari warrior class light.
Gotcha.
Which I loves me a good secret society that has a uniform that everybody wears everywhere they go.
Yeah.
Do you know how you don't stay secret? you all dress the same. That's how you don't stay secret.
Right, with the
how about a giant
brooch?
fucking brooch that everybody wears? Would you like a neon sign that's like Ranger, Ranger, Ranger everywhere you walk? It's fine. It's fine. I think it's cute. When we get our recurring Marcus Ranger character, I'm going to be all kinds of excited. I love their little weapon that we don't even know what it is yet, but like there's a teaser for you. But also, just a note, if you want to have a secret society, don't have a uniform. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I see two guys walking down the road and they're wearing a white button-up shirt and a tie and black pants, I'm like, well, fuck, there's some Mormons, okay? That's not how you stay secret. Not that they're trying to stay secret, but I'm just pointing out here. So the Rangers having their pin, which he was very proud of the pin. There was like a whole paragraph about how he'd signed the pin, how he drew it up. He wanted it to be like a human holding hands
JMS
with
did?
a Minbari. Yes, with a jewel in the middle. And he gave it to the lady who does all the costumes. And she came up with the brooch. And I respect all of that. So it's fine. It's
but
just
make
funny.
it slightly, like, put it under the lapel or something. So, like, you can see it from certain angles, but it's not, like, broadcasting your rank.
They need to do it like in Twilight. Wait. Remember the family crest in Twilight? So
No.
for the Twilight movies, they made up this family crest, the Cullen whatever family crest, and they all wear it. And one of them has it as a bracelet. One of them has it as a necklace. They all have it in different ways, but it's really fucking huge. So there's no way. One of is like a wristband, like a sweat wristband with like the Cullen family crest on it. That's what they needed to do. Just provide you with like the 3D printing file, and then you figure out where on your clothing you will wear it.
Yeah.
Or you put it in a little folder, and then when you want to identify yourself, you like flash your badge.
Right. Or you have it as a tattoo on the back of your ear.
Literally anything other than what they're currently doing. That's all I'm saying. I guess they're hoping that like maybe we'll hide in plain sight. Maybe people will be like, oh, they must be some new religion or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's fine. And then he went on to continue talking about Lord of the Rings, because I guess people are like, oh, you must be modeling this after Lord of the Rings because you've quoted it a couple times.
I mean, to a certain extent, anything like hero's journey, adventure, fantastical is going to have themes that are mirrored by Lord of the Rings, whether you intended it or not.
Yeah.
Because it's so
archetypal.
It's so archetypal and it's so baked in to the culture.
Right.
At this point.
That's exactly what he said. He goes, no, I'm not doing Lord of the Rings with the serial numbers filed off. He goes, I've dropped references to it in the dialogue, but the structure of the story has nothing whatsoever to do with it. Basically, a lot of people have come up and said, oh, is this the same as Foundation? Or this is the same as LOTR? Or this echoes a lot of Dune? Or this is obviously a Homeric tale? Or there's a lot of Star Wars here? It uses the same tools as all mythic structure fiction uses.
Yeah.
Hence, it resonates. But I didn't sit and think, Gandalf left, so I'll have Sinclair leave. That would just be silly.
Right.
Is what he said. So basically what you said, which is like a story is a story. The story structure is going to be similar for anyone that's a hero's journey.
Yeah.
He said it's really just you and what you bring to the table that affects how you view it, which is true.
Yep. And that's the value, the purpose, the emergent design of mythological stories is they feel relevant to a very large number of people. And each person gets to kind of fit the shape of that story to the elements of stories that they've learned throughout their lifetime.
Correct, yeah. And he did say that some of the characters do have symbolism and structure that is pulled from history, pulled from like Greek mythology or other mythological sources. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'll give you one for free. Jakar is in many ways my Cassandra figure, who in Greek tales was granted the gift of prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
All the disastrous things she predicted would come true, but she was cursed by the gods that no one would ever believe her.
Yeah.
Which I feel is important to know in the run-up to this episode, that he saw him as a cursed figure, that he saw him as someone who saw this coming, knew this was possible, and could not stop it. Partly through just random serendipity in the universe, and also partly through his past actions and the way that he has shaped everyone's perception of him that undermined his credibility as someone who's now trying to stop a war, where we started out the entire series
he started
with him
announcing it too far in advance.
Yeah.
So everyone, by the time anything actually happened, he'd been discredited.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, put a pin in that. I feel like we're going to come back to that as we go through this episode. Also, this was the first TV episode in 43 years to win a Hugo Award that was not Twilight Zone or Star Trek. So 7 Hugo Awards have gone to a dramatic TV series, 3 to Twilight Zone, 4 to Star Trek. So this was the first non-Star Trek, non-Twilight Zone TV show to ever win a Hugo Award.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. A little bit of trivia. A Jakar shattering his stone desk was unplanned.
Oh, was he just supposed to
Andreas
slam
was
it?
just
Or
like,
Andreas ad-libbed the whole pick up his desk and slam it thing?
I don't know if he wasn't supposed to pick it up. I think he wasn't supposed to pick it up or throw it at all, and it also wasn't supposed to break. So all of that was just him in the moment. Like, what would Jakar do? Oh, I know. He'd destroy everything in his entire sphere of influence. He said that they left it in because it emphasized and underscored what had just happened.
Yeah, it felt
like
right. A real behavior.
Yeah, like that's exactly what he would do.
Based on that, I was thinking the Narn homeworld must have a higher gravity.
Oh, because he's so strong?
Because to lift that fucking stone slab, you'd have to be really strong.
Well, we've talked about this before, but they do remind me a lot of the aliens from Alien Nation. Because the Alien Nation aliens who arrive on Earth are like the worker class. They're
just extra sturdy.
They are extra sturdy,
by breeding
extra strong,
and training,
extra
by experience.
Whatever. So like there's a reason that the Centauri took them over and were using them for forced labor.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that there was a breeding program, but just that maybe the Narn,
by constraining the environment to forced labor, you modified the natural selection to select for people
who are stronger,
who are physically stronger.
And the added
a couple
aggression,
generations after the liberation, most of the Narns are descended from that.
And the added aggression could be part of
evolutionary
it too.
constraint.
Because we know they used to be just an agrarian people. Like they were just farmers. They were just mind your own business, do your own thing.
The presentation of physical strength may be biologically, physiologically related to the aggression.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One thing follows the other. So, I mean, I'm impressed.
Right. He does. You can tell it's just a foam slab.
Yeah.
But he sells the physical act of lifting something massive.
Because it's Andreas Katsoulas.
Right.
And you're like,
Andreas sells it every time.
Whatever you say, Andreas, I'm here for you, okay? Like you want to cry, like do it. Yes, I believe you. I believe you are war-torn and sad and also utterly enraged in this moment. Like, who else could have been Jakar and embodied Jakar in the same way?
I mean, there's probably a couple people, but I couldn't just pick one out.
No.
Like, there's not enough that I could say, oh, yeah, this guy who plays this kind of character actor would be able to do it. No, you'd really have to hunt for just the right person.
This was, and I'll say it again, the right actors at the right moment in time with the right writer and the right circumstances for this to be able to be made.
Yeah.
And that's why we never have had anything else like it, ever.
Yeah.
And I was poking around looking for, like, I think I was researching about the order of episodes when there's the two that were switched. Could be either way. And someone had published a how to watch Babylon 5, but only watch like the critical episodes.
Oh,
and it
skip
was
the
like
filler?
It was tackling, what did they refer to it as? Tackling sci-fi's most intimidating property.
Mm.
And I'm of two schools of thought about this, because I've seen this done to Farscape. I've seen this done to quite a few of this sort of late 90s era shows where they're right on the cusp of when we used to have 28 episodes a season and a lot of them were filler versus what you're going to get in just the, like, even 10 years later where you're going to get shorter, more dense,
more movie-like episodes.
More movie-like episodes. And so people want to go and watch them, but we're not trained in the same way anymore. I have friends that will not watch this show because they can't watch filler.
Mm.
And I had the same problem with Forever Night. I have a hard time getting people to watch it because we don't watch filler episodes anymore. We just don't appreciate them in the same way. And so people will go through and modernize the viewing, cut out the episodes that they feel are not critical.
Yeah.
And my feeling is,
for Babylon 5 in particular, because of the way JMS conceptualized the whole thing, very little of it is filler.
It's filler, even if it feels like filler at the time. Right. That's for Babylon 5 specifically. I don't think you really should do that. I think that spoils the spirit and the intention of the original show and the original creators. And I suppose I should just say I'm diametrically opposed completely to that take on how to watch television.
Yeah.
If a show
I think maybe some shows you could do it. Like Farscape does have some episodes that are very much filler. Power Rangers has a lot of episodes that are filler. This is a problem in anime that is being produced before the manga is finished. And so the anime will produce episodes faster than the manga is published.
Yeah.
And so they end up having, I've seen people make like diagrams and stuff where it's like they have to keep looping and the anime will proceed until the like latest published manga, and then they'll branch off and make a loop of filler or just extended content, extended universe content. And then when the next manga gets published, they'll loop back and hook back into the original storyline and maybe have to modify some things.
Okay, well, I postulate we leave anime out of the sample size sampling that we're doing here because I think anime is not apples to apples to live action, not based on a book.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Right. So they're two different animals. So
I'm just thinking episodic visual storytelling.
Right. Well,
but if we're constraining it just to...
I think we should leave anime out of it, is what I'm saying. And then you also get different eras in anime where, like, you have the original Dragon Ball Z where you're getting these half-hour episodes where it takes 7 to 8 episodes for a conversation to finish, say.
Yeah.
Right? And then people go back and edit out a lot of the stuff and compress it.
Or the studio comes back.
Right. And then it actually makes it make more sense. Mm-hmm. My argument here is that the term filler is really... an unfair way to label things that happen in television shows.
Yeah, 'cause it's very subjective.
It's very subjective because to me, filler is not filler, it's character development. It's the same reason I love K-dramas because they are not afraid to just pause and linger on a relationship or an individual or a situation.
And I've noticed that in a couple shows, like produced in the last 5 years, American shows.
Right.
Where they actually take the time to just like, we're just going to pause with these two characters and we're going to have literally like 2 straight minutes, no dialogue, just face acting and environment.
Right.
And that's a positive development, I think, in the Western film industry.
Well, we've gone from watching TV as a communal experience where I would watch my Babylon 5 episode on Friday, and then on Monday, I'd talk to my friend, or I'd call my friend who's watching Babylon 5 with me, and we'd discuss the episode.
Yeah.
We've gone from that to, can I binge the whole thing immediately? And if I have, I can't really talk to my friends until they've also binged it. And it's less about enjoying the unfolding of the storyline and more about consuming the property.
Okay. Have you ever heard about solipsism?
No.
Okay. Solipsism is an idea
Okay.
that only your individual personal experience is relevant to yourself. And it's part of the self-centered or narcissistic, not narcissistic, because narcissism implies that you're still like engaging in society, but it's like, I'm just going to sequester myself and pursue things that almost like hedonism, but like solo hedonism.
Yeah.
And you can get on this negative spiral of, I'm only engaging in activities, content, ideologies, whatever, that support, reinforce, or satisfy my desires in the moment, to the point that you've changed as a person into something that can't actually engage in society anymore. And while I'm assembling this, I'm realizing this is AI psychosis.
Okay. Right, but how does that relate to what I just said?
Binge watching
Yeah.
is solipsism.
Yeah. I can't binge watch. It's not a thing that's in my wheelhouse.
Solipsism ends up modifying your sensibilities, the things that are relevant to you. It ends up changing them so that they don't align with the capacity for engaging in society anymore. And so having TV be a communal experience where it was only released 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
And 99% of the people who watched it had acquaintances, friends, whatever, either in person or online, that they would then, like, in the intervening week, you would engage with your small community, your fandom.
Even if it was online in the forums.
Even if it was on the forums, you would engage with them and have discussions and have a back and forth and throw ideas around, and you would absorb ideas from other people, and some people would engage with your ideas. But the binge watching is very solipsistic because it lets you stay in just your personal experience.
Yeah.
Just chasing the dopamine of a novel story. And then you're not actually, while you're digesting it internally, you're not engaging with other people.
Right.
To kind of expand on ideas like, what do the people have to make up what's happening in between? Like, I'm always making up headcanon for things and then relating that to you. Like, oh, here's my idea of what's happening in this character's head, or what they might be doing off screen that would rationalize what's happening later in the plot or whatever. And if you don't have that, you can end up on this downward spiral, or I guess just maybe spiral outward from society.
Well, like, okay, here's a good example for me is we have a co-host who likes to watch a lot of TV. I will say, for the record, I don't watch a ton of TV. I have a hard time engaging with modern TV because I don't like how fast-paced it is. And I really dislike a lot of modern movies. I have a hard time with TV. So putting that on the table as a data set, That's why I like to engage in these older properties. One, because I'm familiar with them and because they're slower moving, which is what I enjoy. But we have a co-host who watches everything that comes out. She binges it as soon as it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And she won't watch things twice. So once she's done with it, it's discarded. It's like fast food almost.
Okay.
Where she just consumes it and she's finished with it and then she moves on. And she doesn't engage in it. She doesn't live in the story. She just, did I like it or did I not like it? Yes or no? Check yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, an experience like Babylon 5 feels like living in the story. Even if I watch 2 or 3 episodes a day for a week and I make it through all 5 seasons in a couple of months, to me, that's different from binge watching because the story moves at a pace that allows you to really learn and grow and live with the characters so that when things happen to them, like this episode, when Jakar grabs Londo and sits him down to have a drink with him, and you know as the viewer that Londo just murdered 250,000 Narn, and then here is Jakar saying, I think we can make this work. I think this is a turning point for the both of us. I almost cried because that is such a heartbreaking moment because Londo realizes the gravity of what he did and how he can never take that back. And it will change the course of everything that happens between him and Jakar and in the rest of the universe from now on. And that he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay? And you don't get that moment if you don't sit through every episode. It is not about knowing the story. It is not about simply consuming a story. Reading from beginning to end and being done. Just so you know what happens. I just have to figure out what happens. That's all that matters. That's how I felt with Severance. Yeah. I never for once felt connected with any of those characters. They could have died. I would not have given a shit. Except Christopher Walken and James Turturro.
John Turturro.
I would die for them. But that's different. That's different. The rest of the characters, and we spent the most time with them, and we spent the most non-narrative time with them.
Yeah, filler,
one might say.
Yeah.
I think filler is
character
crucial.
development.
I think when we lost filler, we lost something.
It attaches you to the character.
And
okay.
And the world.
One of the things that sticks in my head, I'm a big fan of John Vervaeke.
Okay.
He has a whole lecture series that he did called Awakening from the Meaning Crisis.
Yeah.
Look it up. If you have 50 hours to watch the lecture series on YouTube, go ahead. It's also on a podcast. Anyway, and now he's been doing a whole bunch of other stuff since 2020. Anyway, he has a definition for what mythology is.
Okay.
And I've used this a lot when I'm kind of digesting a narrative, whether it's for a book or a movie on the podcast, or whether it's just something I'm reading or watching for my own interest. But he says, myth is not a falsehood that is widely believed, but it is symbolic stories about perennial problems that always exist with humans.
Yeah, you have to be able to see yourself in it.
And so a mythological story, by that definition, is something that usually, like old stories, like Greek mythology or even European like mythology that's been refined over the past 2,000 years, those stories stick with us because they have something in them that's valuable for living day to day, year to year as a human that has not become irrelevant to the experience of modern Western society.
Right.
And so those stories, like originally, like you go back 3,000-4,000 years, somebody made up a story and then they passed that story on to somebody else. And when they told it, they said, it makes a little more sense if you change this part of the story for this other thing. Mm-hmm. And then over 500 years, that story's going to change a lot. Over 1,000 years, it's going to change even more. But the only things that are going to change are the things that have stopped being relevant. And so then you only have these kind of patterns in stories that remain feeling relevant over generations. And now you have this like really refined, finely crafted story. And you can extend this to a lot of religious narratives that these stories were refined over dozens of generations.
Keep going.
An algorithm is a sequence of steps to produce a reliable solution.
I mean, kind of like to make a good story.
And an algorithm, I guess, generalized enough, the process of refining a story over 5,000 years.
Yeah.
You could apply an algorithm to that, like psychohistory in the Foundation series.
Correct. It always comes back to
But you end up with these stories that, like, I got really interested in the Odyssey in, January or February?
Yes.
Because
I love this deep dive.
I got exposed to Epic the Musical.
Yes.
Anyway, I was listening to it on repeat for literally like 4 months. I listened to the audiobook of the English guy translation of the Odyssey from, I don't know, a long time ago. But read by
Ian McKellen. Yeah. Which is why you listened to
Which was a whole experience. Yeah. And then there's a new translation by this lady, Emily Wilson. It's really good. It's much more approachable than the fancy English, elevated English speech translation of the Odyssey. Anyway, you have these stories like the Odyssey that are still relevant to people. Like, this guy felt compelled to make a musical, a good musical, based on the Odyssey. And he changed things. The things he changed make it more relevant.
Right. Modernized it.
To 2024, modern Western society.
Yeah. So wait a minute. To pivot a minute here. And
Babylon 5 takes a lot of the ways mythical stories are told so that the narrative, the plot beats in Babylon 5 fit a kind of mythical framework from the lens that mythical means timeless. It's relevant. It's addressing perennial problems. Perennial means recurring. It comes back every year.
Like a plant.
A perennial plant.
Correct.
Perennial problems are problems that show up for every human life in human history.
Right.
Everyone's experienced problems like these.
Which is why Babylon 5 still feels timeless.
Because it's told, it's constructed as a mythological story.
Yeah. So a minor pivot, not something slightly unrelated.
I think my rant done.
Okay. Unrelated, but slightly related. So we've discussed this on Strangely Beautiful Book Club before. And it's the idea that not only does story shape culture, but culture shapes story. So they are mutually dependent in terms of development. The way we tell stories shapes our culture, and our culture also shapes the way we tell stories.
Yep.
So what if the loss of filler is emblematic of the loss of the appreciation for triviality in our culture? The fact
I would say that,
that we have prioritized plot.
The way modern Western society has prioritized pure productivity.
That's exactly what I'm getting at in terms of plot.
Monetarily extractable productivity.
Right. And honestly, most of your life is filler. Most of life is filler, or should be, because most of life should be the slow appreciation of the moment.
Right. And the depth of a relationship is in the everyday small moments rather than the large romantic gestures.
Right. So
large whatever gestures.
So we have narrowed our focus through, in a large part, social media, on these large, spectacular events. And we've started equating those with meaning, with meaningfulness and importance. Like the only thing that matters is the grand gestures, the plot-driving things. That the filler is actually a waste of your time. And you need to get rid of it because you need to be on it 24/7.
Right. You are a machine to produce capitalistic output.
Right. All the time. And maybe the loss of filler is a bad thing.
It is.
Because
we're saying that it is a loss.
It is a loss.
Yeah.
And the filler's my favorite fucking part is what I'm getting at here.
Yeah. And yes.
And not all storytelling modernization is a good change.
Right.
Is what I'm getting at here. Like the idea of cutting out of, only watch these 12 episodes of season 1 because then you don't have to take all of that time. Well, who cares how much time it's your leisure time.
The time will pass anyway.
The time will pass anyway. It is
you might as well enjoy
time.
it.
It's your leisure time. You don't have to be efficient in your leisure time.
You have to have leisure time to recharge.
Anyway, I just, not to get on a soapbox about that, but just like, I get so angry every time I see that. Well, here's how to watch this without any filler. I want the filler. I like the filler. That's my favorite part. You know, like, it's fine. It's not fine, but that's why I don't like a lot of the modern TV shows are so relentless and exhausting. Like, I don't know how people watch them and then turn them off and then turn another one on and watch again. It's, which is why I actually enjoyed that Murderbot was only 30 minutes long, that they chose to have a shorter format for Murderbot because it made it feel more like the older sitcoms that were like, here's 30 minutes, let's go. And like crammed it all in. And
this Murderbot is not like an epic mythological tale.
No, I didn't want to live for too long in any of that. I wanted it to move because that's what the novella does.
It is a just quick experience inside of the head of a person.
Yeah. So I guess just take the time to appreciate the filler is what we're saying. And let me go ahead and get back to
take some time, pause and smell the roses.
Yeah. Maybe that's what Londo should have done before he was like, oh, I know Rifo. Why don't I murder a bunch of people? But we're going to get there. So apparently, canonically, to return to the episode.
45 minutes in.
Don't look at the time. The ranger guy, Frederick Lane, he actually delivers 3 messages when he is on Babylon 5, canonically. 1 to Garibaldi, 1 to Delenn, and another one he delivers to Catherine Sakai.
What?
Yep. It's not shown, but it's canon. It's canon.
Is it from a book or something?
It must be from a book or one of the, I don't know, either JMS stated it or it's in a book or it's in a comic. But it tells her.
JMS stating things on the forum. Slight tangent. Okay, so Brandon Sanderson.
Okay.
Has written a lot of books.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
It's a whole universe of interconnected stories.
Lots of filler.
Lots of filler. And like fans on the forums with JMS, fans show up or email or whatever. They ask clarifying questions. Like he'll be at a panel at a convention or something.
Yeah.
And people will ask clarifying questions about some nuanced piece of
whatever.
About one of his books. And so then there's this kind of classification, this category in the fandom called the Word of Brandon.
Oh, no.
And people, like, I've seen so much content about Word of Brandon where, like, according to his answer at such and such panel at a convention, he clarified that this particular interpretation is canon.
Okay.
Like, there are things that are covered that exist in the universe that are not explained in his story because he can't put everything in there. These books are already 1,800 pages long or whatever. Anyway, but then a lot of it is RAFO, which means read and find out.
Okay.
Like half of his answers are RAFO.
Okay.
But that reminds me,
Yeah.
I guess all the stuff about JMS and the forums.
Yeah.
It's like there's the word of JMS and then there's watch and find out.
Yeah. Well,
Or read and find out.
Apparently the message told her to go see Sinclair on Mimbar, which canonically, also canon, she becomes a ranger and she gets killed in the line of duty or disappears.
Oof.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't happen in the series. So
yeah.
I think we just go ahead and say that. Michael O'Hare and Turin Bay, the guy who played Centauri Emperor Turin, died only 2 days apart.
Aww.
O'Hare died on September 28th, 2012.
September 28th,
13 years ago
2025.
Or, yeah, 13
We're recording it.
Yeah, 13 years ago today. And on September 30th, 2012 is when Turin Bay died. I know. It's really sad because there's a part in the forum where JMS is talking about Michael and how he came back for that video. And he was like, oh, yeah, Michael recorded that like a long time ago. He's already off in New York pursuing new projects. And now you as a modern viewer know. He was getting help. He was getting help for his mental disorder, his mental difficulties.
Yeah.
And so he wouldn't say that. He couldn't say that.
Right.
He promised he wouldn't. And so
just
he was
like Garibaldi had promised not to.
a little bit like that. Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of sad because he's off getting help right now. And so that's where he is. But JMS is like, oh, yeah, he's off pursuing other projects. That's totally fine. And you're like, okay. I mean, thank you. Like, it's so sad, right? Because if that had happened now, you would hope it would be different, but I couldn't say that it would be.
Well, I think there's less. I wouldn't say. You
know what would happen is he'd get photographed at a hospital, and then it'd be put up on social media.
What I was going to say is there's less stigma about seeking help for your mental health.
Yeah, but it would have been harder to hide.
Yes, it would have been harder to hide now, just because there's so many more eyes and cameras.
Yeah, and there's just a lot less respect for privacy. There's a belief that you have the right to people's lives,
especially celebrities.
If they're celebrities, it's kind of like when FDR.
In some countries, they actually do have less privacy rights.
Yeah,
celebrities do, and then there's some countries where professional actors cannot testify in court because they're too good at lying.
Oh, wow.
Have you not heard of that?
No, but that's really interesting. No, I never heard of that. Sorry.
Okay.
Wow, that's okay. Well, I was going to say it's kind of like FDR. FDR couldn't really walk. He had braces.
He had the respect of the press.
Right, so
they would not film him.
No pictures getting out of the car, boys, is what he used to say, because they had to prop him up when he got out of his car. And so they would just wait and they'd take pictures after he was already standing.
For reference, he had polio.
Yeah, he had polio.
FDR had polio.
Yeah.
He needed leg braces to walk.
He didn't even, his legs really didn't function.
Right.
He just sort of.
But he had practiced so much that he could walk himself.
Right.
And just out of respect for the sitting president, the press would not photograph him or report on the fact that he had trouble walking.
Right.
And so the reason the front of the presidential desk was solid was to hide his legs.
Yeah.
I think he had the historical like presidential desk in the Oval Office.
4 desks they can choose from, but yeah.
But they had one modified, so it had solid front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't have that anymore.
No. And we also elected him 4 times. Anyway, we start this episode not on Babylon 5, but on Centauri Prime. And can I say that I love that the Centauri spaceships are purple?
And purple? I'm magnificent.
The carry through of the purple theme is just chef's kiss.
The royal
perfection.
Royal theme.
I no notes. And it's the prime minister, and he's like, oh, yeah, the royal liner is standing by. We have adequate warships for protection. They're prepared to set forth as soon as we arrive. And the emperor's like, well, you mean as soon as I arrive? Because you're the designated survivor. You have to stay here. You got to stay here. And he's like, oh, my God, your majesty, I must protest And I gotta say, this guy does look like a really sweet old dude.
Yeah,
I can see.
Okay, so like Londo and Rifa and the others in their circle are like scheming heavily to arrange who gets placed as emperor. And then once that emperor is solidly in place, it's a dynastic thing. So your children inherit the throne. So Emperor Turin, his father, either his father or his grandfather was, it sounds like actually both.
Yeah.
Were very politically savvy, almost like sociopathic level emperors.
Yeah.
And then here's Emperor Turin posthumously, and he's just a sweet guy.
Yeah. He's just a sweet old guy who's like...
And his father dies, he takes the throne, and he's like, oh my God, guys.
Why are y'all so mean to everybody?
Why are you so mean to the Narn? Like,
maybe his dad died when he was young.
They're people too. Yes. Maybe his father died young, or his father was so busy on imperial business that he was just an absentee father, and he was raised by
his mother. So here's the thing, since you already brought Brandon Sanderson up.
Go ahead.
We have Dalinar, who is a character from Brandon Sanderson's Way of Kings.
Yep.
And he is a war tyrant. He is a mass murdering,
literal war criminal.
Terrible person. And he has one son.
I don't know that I'd classify him as a tyrant because he was not the ruler.
Okay. He was not the ruler because...
He was a blood-bathed general.
Okay, whose brother was the ruler.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is here, his son was raised by his mother because he was so busy warmongering.
Dalinar's son?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adolin was raised by his mother because Dalinar was so busy out murdering people, he didn't have time for child rearing.
So Elhokar is super into fashion.
Yeah, Adolin is.
Yeah, Adolin is.
Yeah, Adolin is like...
Yeah,
Elhokar's different. Yeah, he pretty much just is interested in the finest fashions and being an honorable man. Like, those are the two things he's most deeply concerned with. And so that may have been a similar thing where his mother raised him or a governess or whatever.
Yeah,
and
the women of the court.
Yeah. And so he didn't have time to get his proper instruction in being a bloodthirsty
He wasn't able to
a-hole.
indoctrinate his son into being
and he may just have
bloodthirsty psychopath.
Been unable to conceive of that as like what he wanted to be. Like he may have just been like completely
predisposed to be a very compassionate person.
Right. And had he had a brother, they probably would have chosen the brother, but they didn't have a choice.
Right.
And I mean, some shit's happened. We rewatched Midnight on the Firing Line because this episode mirrors Midnight on the Firing Line. So we did go back and watch that. And in that one, Londo asks the government to step in and save the Centauri people that are on Ragesh 3. And they're like, nah, dog. We're good. We're just going to leave them.
But was the emperor even involved in that decision?
Right. Is it
we know how many layers of
bureaucracy?
Bureaucrats, yeah.
Or it may have been a thing like, we know Emperor Turin's son died. So it could have been one of those things where he's like, what is this even all for?
Yeah, he could have just been in despair.
This is just a paper fantasy of names and borders. What does it even matter?
Yeah.
And then he could have been like, maybe what I need to leave is a legacy of being a good guy. And he says at the end, like, I have a lot of regrets.
Yeah.
And I've never made a choice for myself in my whole life.
Except for this.
I'm going to choose one thing. And this is the thing that I'm going to choose. So it may have been a lifetime of things that led him to becoming this sweet old man, but not a lifetime of being a sweet person. Just like in his last and final moments, he had the That death is your mountaintop. It gives you the chance to look back and reflect on everything that you've done. And he could have been like, wow, what was that all for?
Mm-hmm.
What did I actually achieve? I had the power. I held on to the power for fucking what? Because I didn't change anything. I didn't do anything meaningful. So I want to do this one meaningful thing.
Yeah.
And so we see him in this twilight moment where he's like, I'm going to Babylon 5 by myself. Because I've got something to do. And his prime minister is like, I really wish you would change your mind because you're like 2 seconds from dying. And he's like, well, I better travel fast then.
I like that he rejects the wig.
Yes. Yeah. They pull the wig out and he's like, no need. No need for the trappings of status when you're as old as I am. They're not as important as they used to be.
No need for that now. When you get to be as old as I, the trappings of status are not as important as they used to be. Sometimes I think our women are right when they shave their heads and rise above these things.
Majesty.
I will go among them as I am. There's no need for further discussion. You have always served me well, old friend. And sometimes I think I do not thank you as much as I should. Goodbye.
And he goes, I think our women are right when they shave their heads and rise above these things. That's an answer to a very important question. Are they bald or do they shave their heads? And they shave their heads.
Yeah. Well, I think we knew.
No, we didn't know.
Well, it had never been stated clearly like this. But we've seen several Centauri women that have their head shaved except for a ponytail.
Yeah.
Which means
all Centauri women we've seen are like that.
They grow hair. The telepaths don't have a ponytail.
We didn't see the back of their heads.
You see them turn around a few times.
Oh, do you?
It's just a veil over.
Yeah, they
skin.
generally have the ponytail, and they look so human. Arguably, a Centauri woman that wanted to get out and be free could grow hair
pose
and
as a
pass.
human.
Yeah,
Yeah.
As long as you didn't reveal that you had 6 vaginas or whatever worked out for that, you'd be good to go. But I just was like, oh, okay, they shave their heads. And he phrases it as they shave their heads because they want to rise above the trappings of status. I would argue
they are outside of status.
I would argue it's because they either have no status
Mm-hmm.
or they are outside of the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Which could go either way. It could be like I'm above and beside, or I am so low on the totem pole that it doesn't fucking matter what it is anyway. Which, from what we've learned, it's probably more the latter.
Yeah.
Having met Londo's wives at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing they can scrabble about is whether or not they get to stay married to a powerful man, not whether they themselves are powerful.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's fine. I'm going to go among them just like this. There's no need for further discussion. And then he turns to the prime minister and he's like, you know what? You did a really good job. And I didn't say thank you as much as I should have. And the prime minister's like, oh my God, okay. And I wrote, wow, they really just decimated the gold trim market during when they were making all these costumes because they have so much gold fringe on everything.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
And then we jump straight into Jakar complaining, whining.
Not
to
why
Sheridan.
I think Sheridan is still so new. It's more of like a pissing contest. Like, what can I get Sheridan to do for me?
Maybe he's just measuring Sheridan.
He knew full well Sinclair was not on his side.
Yeah.
But is Sheridan? Is
Is Sheridan going to go along with him?
Yeah. So he's like, this is intolerable. This is a visit from the Centauri Emperor, and it is unacceptable to my government. He is a monster, an aberration, a criminal. And then he says his family is directly responsible for strip mining my world. His father personally ordered the execution of 100,000 Narns. Only 100,000? Lana's going to be like, bet. I think I can do more.
There was probably like one specific event.
Yeah, all at once. You
Yeah.
mean like destroying an entire colony with 250,000 Narns on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sheridan's like, did he do something himself, though? Like, he did that? I don't think he did that. And Jakar goes, a technicality? In fact, unless I'm mistaken, the current emperor has gone out of his way to offer your world concessions and return lost territory. And Jakar's like, you mean stolen territory? And he goes, whatever. Whatever.
Which, I gotta say, it is, you have the, one end of the spectrum where if you're born into so when you're a person who's born into a stratified social society,
yeah,
where one group holds all the power and they utilize that power to enforce a system which maintains their position in the system. You have probably the majority in the middle who are just going to say, this system works for me. I'm just going to go along with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change anything.
I'm neither benefiting nor being punished by, so
right.
Whatever.
And so we'll just maintain the status quo. And then you have one end who's going to say, oh, this system really gives me the advantage in a lot of situations. And I have all the power, so I can give myself more power. I'm going to make the situation overall worse for everyone except me and my friends. But then you have the opposite end of the spectrum, which is also a minority, which is, oh man, I have a lot of power here. And the system is designed to maintain my position for me and my friends. And I can invite people into my inner circle and include them and protect them, whatever. But man, life's really bad for a lot of people that are under my control and have historically been damaged by my society. I need to make things better.
Yeah.
And so it's very telling that the emperor is the emperor because of this stratified social structure, stratified power structure.
Yeah, he was born into his role.
He was born into his role. He literally says that he was literally bred into this.
Yeah.
He was born into this position, and he never made any decisions for himself. But it is known to people like Sheridan that this guy has made overture. He's put changes into effect to try to repair some of the historical damage caused by his society. So he knows that he's in a very toxic society that has hurt a lot of people, and he's made efforts. Even the attempt to make a change against the existing power structure is a sign that you're trying to be a good person.
Yeah. The success is not the important part.
Right.
It's the attempt. Yeah.
Part of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
but the fact that he did it at all when he could have simply
Right, and that
enjoyed
Jakar
the
is
privilege. Yeah.
Jakar is not acknowledging the fact at all. He's attacking specifically the emperor.
Right.
It's like, okay, you're making this personal. Let's talk about personal. This emperor has made efforts and had success at attempting to repair some of the damage of the Centauri Empire. And you're not giving him any credit.
Yeah.
If he was just maintaining the status quo, yes, you can blame him for that.
I mean, he's still going to come here, but you could be madder.
Right. He's still coming, but you would have, if he had never made any attempts to make reparations or restore land, planets, whatever, to the Narn, you would be completely justified. You can be mad at the Centauri Empire as a power structure.
Yeah.
But don't be mad at this guy in particular.
He's a nice dude.
Right?
Yeah. I get it.
Like, pay attention to what the individual is doing, not just the stories you're hearing about his family.
I think what this is supposed to feel like is a continuation of the way that G'Kar has been since episode 1, season 1, where he is blinded by the history that he has with the Centauri.
Oh,
so we referenced...
You could say he's radicalized.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we have that one throwaway elevator episode where G'Kar and Londo are yelling at each other in front of an elevator. And I told you that was going to come back. And remember, Londo is talking to G'Kar because Jakar's like, you guys strip mined our world. You stripped all of the natural resources. And he's like, yeah, kind of like you guys are doing to fund the Narn War regime. Like, you guys are doing everything that we did to your own people, and you're still blaming us. And, like, where do we fucking go from here? Because we're always going to be your bad guy.
Yeah.
And so throughout the entire series so far, G'Kar has continuously, blindly blamed only the Centauri for every problem that has come up. And has acted with aggression towards the Centauri. And now, of course, in the end of this, he's going to be the victim. And I'm not victim blaming. I'm not saying he deserved to have the Centauri go to war with his entire culture. But the wheel turns, does it not? And
one reason I may be particularly sensitive about this is because I strive to be a better person than my dad.
Well, there's that.
And so I can sympathize with Emperor Turin.
What I think this is supposed to feel like is G'Kar has stubbornly held on to this hate to the point where it not only destroys him,
it's hurting himself.
It's hurting everyone around him and ultimately his goals. Like, he is standing in his own way because he can't let go. And then when he finally realizes he can, it's too late.
Yeah.
And so this is G'Kar on the cusp of a major change.
Yeah.
And so he's supposed to feel like everyone else has moved on and he's stuck.
Yeah.
And so this is his catalyst episode. This is everybody's catalyst episode, but he's supposed to feel almost anachronistic. Like, everyone else has grown and developed and changed, but G'Kar is still stuck. And so this is his kick in the ass to be like, this isn't your fault, but you definitely had a part in what happened. I mean, look what he did in Midnight on the Firing Line when they invaded Ragesh 13 and he preened about it in front of Londo. 3. Whatever, Ragesh 3. And he preened about it in front of Londo and was like, don't use this council for your own personal gain. And then here he is going to Sheridan and being like, don't let the Emperor come here. That's not nice. Yeah. You can't do that. And I'm of two minds with the way that Sheridan talks to him in this scene.
Because Sheridan says, I understand that 100 years of bloodshed is not something you can just forget overnight. But that's not my problem.
He's like, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. He's like, I get you're big mad, but that's a you problem. He's so informal with G'Kar. I'm of two minds here because I appreciate the way he speaks to G'Kar in like a candid, you're being fucking ridiculous right now, so I'm going to be just as ridiculous back at you so that you can understand how ridiculous you sound. But also, this is an ambassador of an entire world who you are ostensibly like
you're an Earth ambassador.
You are working with this guy. You need to maintain relations with this guy. And you're like, would you quit fucking whining about this? Jesus Christ, G'Kar. It's like, it's so... He kind of redeems it with that last part because he's like, the Emperor wants to come visit Babylon 5. The station is open to everybody. This is going to be great visibility. It shows the people on Earth that we're doing our good job, which means you get to keep doing your job on this station. Like, we're all working together to keep Babylon 5 open because, as we know, Babylon 5 is, for some reason, a profit-seeking venture that the Earth government can torpedo at any time. Not torpedo like pew-pew torpedo, but like administratively torpedo. Defund. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like
Lots of things.
Anyway. He's like, you're gonna allow this, even though I'm mad about it. And
even though I'm being really loud about this.
And this is the part where I'm like, I don't know if that was necessary, because he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, am I invisible or something?"
I wrote, "Did I fucking stutter?"
Exactly. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I speak a different language for a minute? Did I turn invisible?"
It seems like you're misunderstanding what I said.
Yeah.
So you're going to allow this, even over my objections?
What, did I suddenly turn invisible or something? Yes, Ambassador. The Emperor is allowed to come aboard. Now, if this bothers you, I suggest you stay in your quarters, stick your fingers in your ears, and hum real loud until it's over. Unless you'd like to try something as breathtakingly rational as trying to open up a dialogue. G'Kar, you are in a position to negotiate directly with the head of the Centauri Republic. And you're wasting it on a tantrum.
He goes, "Yes, Ambassador, the Emperor is going to be allowed to come on board. Now, if this bothers you, I suggest you stay in your quarters, stick your fingers in your ears, and hum real loud until it's over."
Unless you'd like to do something rational, like
breathtakingly rational.
A conversation.
And he's like, "You are in a position to negotiate directly with the head of the Centauri Republic," which is, I think, why he's so informal up to that moment, because he wants to like pivot and be like, or just for shits and giggles, you can do your fucking job and you can do it really well because you can finally talk to the head of the Centauri Republic.
Right. That's the whole point in being an ambassador, is you get to talk to the people in power directly.
Yeah.
Rather than having like social media campaigns and whatever.
Unless you're going to keep wasting it on this little baby man tantrum that you're having right now.
Yeah.
And G'Kar goes, "I really shouldn't have expected you to understand. My mistake. I won't make it again." And Sheridan's like, "G'Kar, don't do anything that we're both going to regret, okay?"
It's too late for
and
that.
And G'Kar goes, "It's too late for that, Captain. It's too late by far." Truer words, honestly. Truer words. And that's the moment where Sinclair needs to go, "Boop, boop, Garibaldi, I need you to go ahead and put a security detail on G'Kar."
Just monitor G'Kar.
Yeah.
Anytime he leaves his apartment, check him for weapons.
Here's a question. Is G'Kar right to be this mad?
I think G'Kar is completely justified in being this mad.
Okay.
Maybe not at the visit by the Emperor.
I'm mad at how Sheridan talked to him because it's a very schoolmarm, I guess. Just
okay. So my
pedantic
perspective on this is Sheridan is saying, be a fucking adult.
Yeah.
If you actually want to make a change in the galaxy, you need to be the adult in the room. But you're throwing a child's tantrum right now.
Yeah.
So, man up. Woman up.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Pouch up. Okay, G'Kar. Whatever you need to do, get your shit together. I mean, okay. I respect that. I think his anger is a little bit like the perfectionist problem that we experience in the U.S. on a certain side of the political spectrum, where you aren't fully embodying your principles if you aren't doing it completely perfectly.
Yeah.
And that's what this feels like, where it's like he can't not be mad about the Emperor because then it will undermine his position as ambassador for the Centauri, because he has to be complete in his anger. He can't say, well, actually, I think I'm going to meet with the Emperor and have a talk with him because who knows what might come from this, because even being seen to talk with him would undermine his authority, which is a problem because dialogue is a crucial part of politics.
Right.
So I see why he's angry about it, but I think it's also supposed to highlight how immature his anger is and how single-mindedly, irrationally the Narns have acted towards the Centauri. Where a lot of bad shit happened. It was terrible. But 10 years ago, the Minbari were about to fucking blow up the earth.
Well, and I think another consideration for how angry Jakar is at the Centauri is that nobody living did this. Like, yes, historically, like the Centauri civilization historically did this, and they are still benefiting from the crimes they enacted and the resources they extracted from the Narn. But no living Centauri was actively involved in those crimes.
Right.
So, okay, like those Centauri are growing up in a society where their civilization did bad things, but they personally didn't do those things. So you can't directly blame them, but you can ask them to admit that it happened.
Yeah,
and have that conversation.
Which is probably why the message from the Emperor hits like it does. Because it's like maybe all he really ever wanted was for them to admit they were wrong.
Right.
Was for them to say,
right, and
oh my God, that was
Jakar hearing
terrible.
The Emperor's message of, I'm sorry this all happened. I only want to make it better.
Is a big shift for him. It kind
it's
of
a
feels
big fucking deal for Jakar.
It is, and it gets him to.
It's closure. It's catharsis.
Yeah, it's
he got a thing that he's always wanted, but he never was able to articulate that that's what he was seeking.
I think it's like he just wanted everybody. This is our way forward to the table is for you to say, you know what, we were wrong.
Yeah,
that was some bullshit.
Yeah,
and that was our fault. And we're really fucking sorry. And nobody had done that yet. And I think that's why he immediately goes out and he's like, Londo, I think we can talk now. Like, I think we...
Yeah. I'm going to buy you a drink.
Yeah.
Because it is not often I have a revelation.
Yeah. It kind of feels like in World War Z when we talked to that one German guy. And he talks about how in Germany, one of the crucial things...
we're barely scratching the surface of how deeply this would resonate as someone who grew up in Germany.
Well, that, but also he's talking to a guy from West Germany. And he says that one of the differences, or one of the reasons why West Germans sort of, I guess the way that they approached the war was that they were never allowed to forget that it was their fault. That the policies and the apathy and the culture of the time allowed what happened to happen. And that's how they were able to move forward and to improve, was by saying, we did that. That was us. And now we got to figure out how to never have that happen again.
Yeah.
And he says that one of the things is no one in the military is ever told just follow orders.
Right.
Because so many people who did terrible things were just following orders. And there's a whole plot line in World War Z that continues on that vein. But I think it's similar to that, where it's like, that's all they wanted was, not all they wanted, but it was this first step. The first step that everyone has been waiting for is for the Centauri government to go, yeah, that was us. And we're sorry.
Yeah.
And it's too bad he came to that revelation too late. It's also too bad that he didn't record that and broadcast it instead of
the Emperor.
Yeah, instead of delivering it via. Maybe he told Dr. Franklin to, and Dr. Franklin was like, no, I'm kidding. He would definitely have broadcast it if his patient asked him to. But is that what his speech was going to be about? Because we don't know. We never heard his speech. He says...
Was the Emperor supposed to give a speech or just Londo?
No, the Emperor was supposed to give a speech. And then Londo was going to talk to him in private afterwards. But they were going to record it secretly so that they could broadcast it later. And we don't get to do that either. So, I don't know. Anyway, I guess we should probably get back to the episode because we haven't even made it to the intro yet.
Okay, so guys, we got to the intro. After the intro, we get some guy at customs.
Some fucking guy. I love how the customs guy's like, wow, third time this month, huh? And he's like, yeah, I got business here. And he goes, oh, okay, can I help you? No, I've been here 3 times this month. I know my way around the station. But he looks over and sees Garibaldi talking to a blonde woman for some reason.
Having gone through a border crossing, I don't know, multiple times in the past couple years.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't ask.
What do you do?
Where are you coming from? Where are you going? What you going to do there?
Yeah.
How
well,
long
this
are you
isn't
gonna
technically
stay?
a country, I guess. So as long as you don't have a warrant that pops up when you get scanned, you're good to go.
Legally, I wonder if this is considered Earth Alliance territory.
Yeah. No, it's neutral territory. It's neutral space.
But
neutral
Earth
territory.
Alliance has
But
jurisdiction.
We had this discussion. Yes.
Yeah.
Earth Alliance is the one that operates it and yet is supposed to be neutral. So, ... I guess.
The same way that Deep Space Nine is
Yeah.
Federation
But not.
controlled. But
I think it's like we will build it, we will maintain it, we will defend it, but we will not step in any negotiations that happen on it.
they don't step in negotiations, but they punish criminals.
Shh, it's fine. You didn't. Like, it's not.
They have a brig. They capture thieves.
They also mind white people. It's fine. It's
No,
fine. You just gotta
that's
let
the
it go. You
itinerants.
just gotta
Okay.
let it go.
Anyway, this guy's going through the customs checkpoint, and can I help you? And he looks over at Garibaldi. Nope, I found what I needed.
Yeah, and that's the end of that scene. And then we go to this scene with Lord Rifa and Londo and Veer. And I am reminded of my Sinclair rule number whatever. Ignore the propaganda. Trust what you see.
Yeah.
Londo needs to ignore Lord Rifa's propaganda because Lord Rifa is spewing some
Hella sus.
bullshit.
Hella
right?
sus.
Londo's a savvy guy.
Yeah.
How is he not like, oh, Lord Rifa is?
I think he's just preoccupied with, he's like mentally occupied with the speech and the fact that he's going to be personally interacting with the Emperor.
Well, this isn't the first time. When Lord Rifa came to him the first time and he was like, we want you on our side. I have powerful friends. We're going to take over the government. And Londo was like, cool. Sounds great. That was his moment to be like, I'm sorry, what? It's interesting because Londo doesn't so much feel like, it's kind of like Crowley in Good Omens, where he doesn't fall, he just saunters vaguely downwards.
Yeah.
He's not really like, he's not interested in leaping headlong into power, but yet he doesn't ever turn down an opportunity to seek more power.
Right. He does engage in opportunities to gain more power, but generally it's in a way where he can have plausible deniability of being actively involved.
But he's making some big fucking decisions. Like he's already murdered. Was it 10,000?
10,000. Yeah.
And then on a whim, he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I think I know a guy. I can handle this. And takes out 250,000 Narn.
He doesn't kill 250,000 Narns. Because there's a lot of survivors.
They
still.
don't say what. They just say that most of the people that died right away.
They say there's heavy casualties.
Yeah.
And most of the people who died right away.
Okay, enslaved. Killed or enslaved 250,000 Narn.
Yes.
Because that's the intention.
But then, after pressure from Sheridan, agrees to release the civilians.
Only to cover his own ass.
Only to avoid the Earth Alliance observers coming in to inspect
Which
their
means
situation.
he knows full well that what he did was some bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He absolutely... He knew when he told Lord Rifa, hey, what about this Narn thing in Quadrant 14?
I think the problem here is you want Londo to be like Lord Rifa, where he's just like a mustache-twirling, ambitious bad guy.
Right, but
Londo is not.
It's coming from patriotism. And he knows he's doing something unethical, immoral, but that it will solidify this plan to...
His first love is always Centauri.
Yes, to regrow the Centauri Empire.
His first love is always the Empire and the reestablishment of what he believes is the rightful power of his people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think he ever realized what it was going to cost.
Right.
And now that he's in it, he's horrified at what he is willing to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes him such a
compelling character.
Such a compelling character is because he is not like, oh, yes, I fucking hate the Narn. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is what I have to do, but I'm going to do it.
Because it could have been something else.
He could have picked any target.
I'm sure the Centauri have other enemies than the Narn, but
it's the symbolism of it all.
It's the symbolism of retaking everything that probably a big portion of what the Centauri have lost over the last 100 years are things that were reclaimed by the Narn. And so by taking it back again, symbolically, you are recovering what you've lost over the last 100 years.
Well, I think, and don't quote me on this, that although they gave up a lot of the other holdings that they have, the Narn actually drove them out. So they didn't voluntarily leave Narn.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of like a pride thing, too.
Yeah.
We gave up. We should have fought harder. So we're just going to go ahead and take those back.
Yeah.
And this is when Rifa is like, listen, I've arranged for you to have an audience. Of course, the whole thing's going to be recorded. Anyway, and Londo goes, oh, wait, does he know what we're going to talk about? Like, and we actually, I don't think we realize what he's going to talk about because we don't ever get to hear Londo's speech.
No.
And he's like, no, it's just going to be a progress report on your situation here, or at least that's what he thinks. But I've taken the liberty of writing your speech for you. This is when Londo should be like, reap, 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 reap. I'm a pawn. I'm a pawn. I am a pawn. Oh, here, I've go ahead and made your move for you. Don't worry. Your sacrifice will be worthwhile.
Right. I've had experts in psycholinguistics working on it for weeks.
It's perfect. Fiery but dignified, elegant but strong. It outlines the decline of our government and our need for change. So that's what he's going to talk about.
Yeah.
And he's like, also, you're going to make a few predictions about what's going to go wrong next with the economy and the military. And Londo's like, are they going to come true?
Already arranged.
Veer's in the background like, oh my
horrified.
God. Oh my God. Oh my, he looks like he's about to throw up. He has watery bowels, as they would say. He's just like, oh my God, what is happening? But also, betrayal. Betrayal. Londo is doing this. Londo, who I'm sure he realized Londo was ambitious. I don't know that he realized Londo was
this ambitious.
And Rifa's like, yeah, that's already arranged. And Londo goes, oh my God, are you going to like sabotage stuff? And he's like, oh no. I mean, yes, but no. He's like, a word or two in the right ear, critical shipment delayed, no big deal. NBD, as they say. He goes, the method is unimportant. What matters is that when it comes true, the Emperor will look weak and short-sighted, whereas we will look like we have our eyes on the future. And Londo's like, wow, you are asking a lot of me.
Mm-hmm.
After I make this speech, I won't be in favor with the Emperor and his court. Like, you're going to scuttle all the influence that I have gained by having mysterious benefactors who can murder 10,000 people on a whim. That's a whole nother conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, true, for as long as the Emperor is alive, but like as soon as he's dead, which is going to be soon because he's like sick
one
as
way
fuck.
or another.
No one's going to remember any of that.
Mm-hmm.
The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. Like Shakespeare says. It's It's going to be fine. He goes, when he passes, all that will remain is the memory that we were right. So we have to position ourselves to move in, when the time is right. And he's like, I'm going to leave you so you can study your speech. If you have any other questions, you know where to find me. And he leaves. And Londo looks over at Veer and he goes, did that make you uncomfortable? Did that conversation make you uncomfortable? And Veer's like, yeah.
This conversation makes you uncomfortable?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Then for once, we have something in common.
Yeah, it does. And Londo goes, wow, okay, then for once in our
For
lives.
once, we have something in common.
We have something in common. And I think probably the underlying theme of this whole episode is really that everyone is at a crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is standing at a crossroads, and their choices are going to dictate history. Really.
Yep.
Londo especially. Because at any point, Londo could have been like, you know what, actually? Fuck ambition. Fuck it. I don't want anything more than what I've already got.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go down in history as the guy that did this.
Right.
But I think Londo has lost perspective of what looks like glory to one race is slaughter
Tyranny,
to another,
yeah.
is tyranny to another. A bit like in A Winter's Tale, like we just watched over the weekend, where he didn't realize he was a tyrant.
Yeah.
He thought he was seeking justice. And in the end, what he was doing was murdering everyone around him and destroying his own life in the process.
Yep.
And that's exactly where Londo is. And how horrific for Veer to watch all this happening from the sidelines.
Right.
And we went back and watched Midnight on the Firing Line, and I totally forgot how much different Veer is in season 1, where Veer is so like, I'm unsure of myself. And in this one, there's a part where he doesn't, like, Rifa holds out his cup and Veer looks at him like, fuck your cup.
Yeah.
Fuck your cup and fuck you. And
Yeah.
Rifa's like, cool. And he just walks over and puts his cup on the side table. That's not Veer from season 1. That's Veer who's been through it with Londo, who had to go and try to get some techno mages to give him a blessing.
Gives you some perspective on daily life.
And then we go to the Emperor arriving on Babylon 5. And I just want to point out how fun and 90s and synthesizer this music is. It's supposed to sound grand and stirring, but it's like...
Yeah.
The Emperor's walking out. It's so cute. I love it so much. And he walks out and he's like, on behalf of the Centauri Republic, I offer the hands of friendship. And then they do this thing. It's supposed to be like a Roman clasp, like grab the forearm because that's how you check for weapons kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And JMS waxed very long and nostalgic about that on the forum, about why he chose to have them do a handshake like that or whatever. And it's literally just to carry through on the Roman theme, which is...
Of the Centauri.
Of the Centauri,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you noticed or anything, but their hair is supposed to look like Napoleon's hat.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, not that Napoleon was Roman.
No, but French. I don't know. Famous emperors in history
Imperial.
for 1,000, Alex.
It's supposed to be imperial.
Imperial,
Yeah.
there you go. Empire building, the type of people who are obsessed with the acquisition of territory.
Yeah.
And he introduces everybody. He's like, this is Susan. This is my buddy, Michael Garibaldi. And for some reason, this is the doctor guy who works here sometimes. Like, I don't know why Dr. Franklin is there. I guess so he can believably be in it later.
So we include the head of, like, logistics for the entire station, the head of security,
Yeah.
the head of medical. What about the other organizations within Babylon 5?
I don't know. The dock workers? Literally anybody else? How about any of the other ambassadors?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
The other ambassadors?
That's going to be a negative, sir. We're just going to have 3 people here. And he's like, oh, it's great. It's been an honor. News of the work you're doing here has reached even the royal palace of Centauri.
What about the head of IT?
IT? I think that's also Ivanova. Joke's on you. Ivanova runs everything. Sheridan literally just plays
Okay,
like
maybe it's the head of operations,
Okay.
head of security, head of medical.
I know you're thinking, is there anything else that happens on Babylon 5? The janitorial staff? I have no idea, honey. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, that would all fall under operations.
Yeah.
IT would fall under operations.
It would make sense for other ambassadors to be there. It makes sense for Londo to be there. And Londo isn't there. The ambassador for the Centauri Republic does not greet the emperor of the Centauri Republic.
Right.
Because he's busy meeting with Lord Rifa about he's going to kill him. Scheming. He goes, I'm deeply moved by the knowledge that you choose to stand in harm's way in the interest of peace. And Ivanova's like, thank you. Yes.
Yes, we do.
Thank you. And then they take him on a tour, which is really cute. And he just walks up to the doctor and he's like, have you ever seen the Vorlon? And Dr. Franklin's like, you mean Kosh? And he's like, yeah, I've always wanted to see a Vorlon. And he's like, well, nobody ever sees him. He's always in his encounter suit. So like, why? And he's like, I've just never seen one in or out of his shell. He said, we've sent numerous expeditions into Vorlon space, but none of them have returned.
Okay. So on that topic, I was thinking about how when the Europeans came to the United States, North America, when they came to North America.
Yeah. When they came to the United States. Yes.
When they came to North America.
The previously established country, yes.
When they came to the continent, the indigenous peoples had like this huge network of paths for communication and travel and whatever.
Yeah.
And they had a whole system for marking the paths. And it was usually like bending the trees a certain way or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you knew the markings, you could just travel wherever you wanted to go.
Right.
And I was thinking, what if the Vorlons had like a whole system of like leaving markers
okay.
through the whole Vorlon controlled space. So when the Europeans came, they didn't know how to read the markers and they got into all the dangerous shit.
Yeah.
And like people would die or they'd eat the wrong stuff or whatever because they didn't know how to read the markings. So when the Centauri go to Vorlon controlled space,
yeah,
what if the Vorlons have just very subtle, like built into the, I don't know, into the space some way, markers for here are the safe paths to travel. Don't go over here because even though it looks like open space, that's actually part of a giant particle accelerator. If you fly through there, your ship's going to get vaporized.
You're going to die.
On accident. You're going to die. And so all these Centauri convoys that have gone out into Vorlon space, they don't know how to read the markings. And so they end up going into all the dangerous shit and eating the wrong food.
It's probably more like the same way that I swat a fly when it gets in the house.
Well, yes, ostensibly. But I was thinking of a more hospitable framing for why all the Centauri expeditions into Vorlon space have not returned.
Yeah.
And have it be their own ignorance causing their deaths rather than the Vorlons actively removing them.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Let's go with that one. It's benign. It's benign.
Yeah. It's lack of preparation, lack of education, training.
I choose to believe it's the way Jakar said it, where he's like, do you see this ant on this flower? That's us.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. But also, hey,
two things can be true.
Two things can be true. Yeah. Maybe the ant gets lost and then it gets vaporized.
Yeah.
Instead of making its way to the flower.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we come back. Okay, first of all, before we really come back, before I finish that sentence, I am so happy that they made the Emperor like a soft, nice, gentle guy.
Mm-hmm.
This plays entirely different if he's actually a bad guy.
Right. Like an expansionist.
You don't feel bad for him and you don't feel the same way. It doesn't hit the way it hits when Jakar gets betrayed by Londo.
Right.
If the Emperor isn't this character.
Right.
And so this was such a beautiful, simple, it shows you how important the juxtaposition of character is in a story.
Mm-hmm.
Stories are not just plot. Stories are also character driven. And if you can't make good characters and you can't choose the right character for the right moment, you can't tell a good story.
Mm-hmm.
And while we may sometimes criticize JMS's writing, he's an excellent character writer.
Yeah.
And he is very good at choosing the right character for the right moment. And this is a problem that I have with a lot of modern storytelling is we create these, quote, strong characters, but the, quote, strong characters have to be like mean or sarcastic or cold. There's like a character
or brutal.
type we think of as strong. Whereas this character, this emperor, is stronger than any previous emperor because he is willing to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Directly to the wronged party.
Yeah, to directly say to a Narn on neutral territory, look, we fucked up and I am so sorry. I apologize. And no one before has ever done that.
Yeah.
And that makes him a strong character. Everything about him feels strong, even though he is also soft.
Right.
And that is incredibly difficult to achieve. And I just want to take a moment and appreciate that before we continue. Because then we go to Jakar talking to his TV. It's really funny because in suspension of disbelief, he's talking to this guy, but really they filmed this guy sitting there, bloop, bloop, blinking at nothing.
And timing his responses.
So that Jakar could say stuff off screen and then he could react as if he's responding. But I love it. He's like, the first circle of the Kari have concluded their deliberations and they endorsed your plan. So you are good to go. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. When does the Kari feel would be the best time? And they're like, when the most people are watching him. Obviously. The reception just before he gives his speech. Don't let him talk. Just go ahead and stab him. Stab that bitch right then and there. And he's like, okay, all right. Yeah. He goes, there will be greater exposure. Are you still ready to go through with this? And he's like, I mean, hell yeah. And then he waxes nostalgic about it for a minute. He's like, it's a really weird feeling, to suddenly know that the decisions in your life have all brought you to this place and this moment. And I said, wow, the assassination and political maneuvering episode. Really? Really right now? Okay, great. He goes, there's really no longer doubt or uncertainty. The future now consists of only 3 possibilities. 1, I will strike the emperor and we will both die. 2, he will die and I will spend my life in prison. Or 3, I will fail and be killed horrifically. Those are my options.
In the moment that I strike, the Emperor and I will both die. Or he will die and I will spend my life in prison. Or I will fail and be killed. For the first time in my life, the path is clear.
And it's so nice that my path is so clear.
And he completely leaves out any He's so committed that he knows himself he will not chicken out.
Oh, no.
But he ignores the possibility that something else will happen that will prevent his opportunity.
Well, from his perspective, and from true of all reality is the only real final conclusion of this kind of blind hatred is always going to be violence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that his life and his decisions have led him here. It's that his continuous irrational hatred has driven him to this final act of violence.
Yeah, and it's narrowed his entire worldview.
It has, and to him that feels like divine focus.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more like he has eliminated systematically every other option that was not this.
Right.
Because he has put himself into a position where he cannot act softly. He cannot simply talk to somebody because that will be seen as weakness, and he can't have weakness or he can't have his position.
Yeah. Yep.
But he's like, okay, yep, I'm ready. I'm going to kill this guy. Let me go pull out this very sharp dagger that I have in my room because everyone has weapons.
It's probably for religious ceremonial purposes.
Sure. Well, they wouldn't let that. Oh, maybe he filled out the right form.
Right.
What ceremony? It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Then we go back to the Emperor and Sheridan, and they're in that room. This is the room where they were supposed to display the dead body of that Minbari guy before Delenn fucked off with it.
Cremated it.
Skipped off into the sunset with a dead body. And this is entirely green screen. And they're just standing in a green screen. And JMS went on and on and on about this. There's no actual walls here. They're all just green screen. We just make this room. It has always been that. And I don't tell you guys these things ahead of time because I don't like to hear that you knew it all along because you could tell it was CG. Just this and I was like, oh, I love this conversation. It feels so dated. Like it's obviously CG. Okay.
On a CRT screen.
It may not have looked
It would not have been.
Yeah. Which, didn't we just read that article about the return of CRT TVs will be televised or whatever? Yeah. Because CRT is actually a superior technology in a lot of ways. Not necessarily resolution, but in other aspects.
Yes, response time and a few other considerations.
Which is interesting because I do a lot of buying used for a variety of reasons. One, because I don't like supporting new manufacturing, but also I just like buying stuff off Facebook Marketplace. Usually older things are higher quality anyway. And I have definitely seen the resurgence of the sale of CRT TVs. For a while, you couldn't even get rid of them. You couldn't give them away.
Yeah, the whole retro gaming thing has significantly increased the demand for CRT screens.
I will again postulate that we need a 90s lounge where we buy a CRT TV and we just hook our DVD player up to the CRT TV and experience this the way it's meant to be experienced.
Yeah.
If anyone could see the irrational joy in my eyes right now, Matt can attest.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently the Emperor asked to see Sheridan because he's like, hey, you want to see me? And he's like, oh, Captain, I have a question for you. Can I ask you a question? And he goes, depends on the question, I guess.
Why are you here?
What?
Because you asked me to come here.
He's like, you said you had a question. He goes, in this place, in that uniform, was it your choice? And he's like, oh, yeah. No, yeah, I did. It was my choice. And then he says the planetary draft didn't start until the war a few years later. So now we know that the Centauri women shaved their heads and that there was a draft that drafted a whole bunch of people into the war during the Minbari War.
Mm-hmm.
Which is near and dear to my heart because my dad was drafted into Vietnam. In fact, I have his draft letter. Can you imagine receiving that in the mail?
Oof.
You go to check your mail and you open it and it's like, congratulations.
Luckily, I'm old enough now.
I know. Did I celebrate a little when you hit the cutoff? Like a little bit because I just, and ultimately it ended my dad's life. So.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. He goes, I guess I wanted to serve something that was bigger than I was, make a difference somewhere, somehow. You seem interested in why people chose to be here. Where do you get that, Sheridan? Because he only asked
I wonder if there were more, if there was like a deleted scene or something.
There are books of scripts. They released some scripts in book form where they compiled the script and it included the entirety of the script.
Okay.
So there are actually scenes that they removed that are included in the script. And I kind of want to buy the script book. They're hard to find and they're expensive, which is why I haven't done it. But I would love to know, did he ask other people? Because that line implies he did, whereas we only see him ask Sheridan.
Yeah.
But he goes on to say, it has occurred to me recently that I've never actually chosen anything in my life. I was born into a role that was prepared for me. I did everything I was asked to do, and it never even occurred to me to not do what people were asking me to do. And now at the end of my life, I wonder what my life could have been if I had choices or if I had known I could make choices.
It has occurred to me recently that I have never chosen anything. I was born into a role that had been prepared for me. I did everything I was asked to do because it never occurred to me to choose otherwise. And now, at the end of my life, I wonder what might have been.
That's why my father taught me to live each second as though it were the last moment of my life.
And this is when Sheridan says, "That's why my father taught me to live each second as though it were the last moment of my life." And this is where I want a montage of Sheridan just trying to live his life as a child, and his dad keeps jumping out of bushes and like,
"You could die right now."
If you'd been a second slower, I'd have shot you in the head. You need to live like I was about to shoot you in the head. Oh my God, Dad, okay, I'm so sorry. He's at college. He comes back to his room. His dad comes out from under the bed and he's like, "Bam, I planted a bomb. You could have died right there."
Where's the memento mori coin I gave you?
You got to live each second. He's like, "I know, Dad. God, what if I had a girl with me?" "You should have a girl with you because every second is your last." And he goes, "If you love, love without reservation. If you fight, fight without fear." I think we meet his dad eventually.
Uh-huh.
I just like, is he this intense?
Stick a pin in that.
I mean, this is the guy who met the Dalai Lama. Did he meet the Dalai Lama because he was a politician, or did he meet the Dalai Lama because he like brute forced his way in? He was like, "Every moment is my last." Boom! Got kicked down the door and ran in. I just want to know. It's so. I get it's supposed to feel deep, and later there's some deep lines here, but that I'm like, how? How did he teach you to live each moment like it was your last? He says it called it the way of the warrior. It just keeps getting better. And then he's like, "No regrets then?" And he's like, "Yeah, a few." You know, Sheridan's like, "I had a few, like, but not many."
Yeah, only a few.
And he goes, "How about you?" And the Emperor goes, "Oh, enough to fill a lifetime."
No regrets then?
A few, but just a few. You?
Enough to fill a lifetime. So much has been lost, so much forgotten, so much pain, so much blood. And for what? I wonder. The past tempts us, the present confuses us, and the future frightens us. And our lives slip away, moment by moment, lost in that vast, terrible in-between. But there is still time to seize that one last, fragile moment. To choose something better, to make a difference, as you say. And I intend to do just that.
So much has been lost, so much forgotten, so much pain, so much blood, and for what? And then he says, and this is such a fucking good line.
Such a banger.
God damn it. "The past tempts us, the present confuses us, and the future frightens us, and our lives slip away moment by moment, lost in that vast, terrible in-between."
Mm-hmm.
This is so good. Like this, I'm a dialogue.
It
I was
really
sucker
gives
for good
us a
dialogue.
perspective on the Emperor's mindset in this moment.
It makes you realize how much he has thought about this action,
Mm-hmm.
how much thought he has put into his past, his present, what he wants the future to be like after he's gone, and what he is willing to do to make that happen.
Yeah.
Because later they're like, "Oh, would they want you to go home? We're going to try to get you on a ship." And he's like, "It doesn't matter where I die. It only matters what I do with my death. So like, don't move me. It's fucking fine." And then we cut to Garibaldi, and it's really just Garibaldi walking with a group
Security
of people
prep.
giving orders. And there's a ranger guy following him. That's the whole point of that scene. And then we come back to Jakar, and he's recording like his last will and testament. He's like, "I take this action without the knowledge or permission of my government. Please ignore the fact that I had to get permission from my government in order to do it, but it's totally fine." And he goes, "Neither should my aide Natoth be held accountable for my actions." Where is Natoth anyway?
We haven't seen Natoth.
Not in a long time. Well, she's not Natoth anyway. Maybe he realized she'd been body snatched. He goes, "The responsibility is mine alone."
I ask that my remains and my personal property be sent back to Narn and my
And he
copy of the Book of
pauses.
Jaquan.
No, he goes, "To my family." What family? Wife and kids? Brothers and sisters?
Probably brothers and sisters.
Mom and dad? Aunts and uncles? What kind of family are we talking? Does he have a wife back home? And he's like Londo and he's on Babylon 5 just fucking around? Quite literally?
I mean, possibly.
Mm-hmm. And then he leaves his copy of the Book of Jaquan to Natoth in the hope of her eventual enlightenment, which implies he believes it has enlightened him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he has value in the teaching of Jaquan.
He has moments.
Yeah.
He definitely has moments. He's definitely religious.
Yeah.
How deeply the religious has sunk in is right now not that deep. He's going to have a lot more time on his hands soon. So he's going to have more time to self-improvement. And then we go to the party that's happening for the speech. And this is when we get like, for some reason.
We get some lore about the Centauri.
My favorite part is they're at a buffet. And like they zoom in on the buffet. Like we start out just seeing everybody's hands getting food. And then it's Susan with like a napkin.
So
and
we had the scene with Garibaldi. He's getting security tightened down for the party, and now we're at the party.
Right, but the party food is like sushi and sandwiches.
Just don't worry about it.
Okay, it's fine. But they're talking about what the veiled Centauri women are who follow the Emperor around, and we find out that they're telepaths, and they're born together, and they're raised together, and they live together, and they're always connected, no matter how far apart they are.
Yeah.
So they're like a way of communicating across long distances.
I wonder if they still have a speed of light delay.
Or speed of thought.
Or whether it's like quantum entanglement.
I think it's like quantum entanglement.
Where it's supposedly potentially instantaneous.
They're all effectively always thinking the same
That means
thoughts.
they could violate causality.
Which, the implications.
Let's just say there's still a speed of light delay.
Yes, because so the whole psychic ability thing is like a sticky.
It's treated as a soft magic.
Yes, it's very,
It does whatever you need it to in the moment.
Then you add in the capability for psychic people to be so enmeshed that they literally
stay connected when light years apart.
They stay connected no matter the distance that they are, which means you could have a psych or spy who doesn't need to send any reports or send any data or anything. They literally just need to exist. And then they have a counterpart on Earth who is constantly relaying the data that they're picking up.
I bet the psychic connection can be detected by another telepath.
Oh, I'm sure by another telepath. But if you're not operating, you could appoint somebody, make them a president or vice president, one might say, of the universe or the Earth Force or whatever. Like you could send them out and put them in a position of power, not as a telepath, but as...
Right, but if they're always broadcasting back psychically to their always linked person. But
is it broadcasting or is it literally just you're the same?
I think if you had a 24/7 psychic connection to another person, a telepath could detect that.
Okay. Well, we don't know. And I don't think we're ever going to know because I'm not sure that this ever comes up again.
Yeah.
So we're just going to we're going to put that on the table because there's a lot there that's like, that doesn't really work if you really think about it too hard. So it's fine. It's kind of cool.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
And to go with him and to stay behind, that way everybody's always on the up and up about what's happening.
And there are always two in case one dies of like surprise, like illness or something.
Surprise fever.
Well, so like
I died of surprise pneumonia.
in tech stuff.
Yeah.
To have a service be like actually redundant, the minimum number of there's an idea called highly available, which means you have a group of things that are all performing the same function, and it'll automatically fail over to another one if the active member fails for some reason. and it's not considered an actually like high availability cluster unless there's a minimum of 3.
Okay.
So that way, at any point, you could take one down for maintenance. You could take down one node for maintenance, and you still have redundancy. Or one node could fail, and you still have 2 for redundancy.
I mean, I grasped the concept. It was just the phrase "surprise illness," that not surprise assassination.
I guess it could be assassination too.
No,
but...
you were like, what if they died of like meningitis? I don't know. Like you're traveling the world. Maybe you're not inoculated. Humans carry a lot of diseases. We're dirty people.
Jovian flu.
Jovian flu. The long pox. Who knows? Whatever. Just something. We're moving on because they're talking to each other. It is Sheridan and Ivanova and Dr. Franklin.
Yeah.
And they are snacking and chatting while everyone's sort of milling around, waiting for the Emperor to show up. And they're like, what's the Emperor going to talk about? And he's like, I have no idea. He just said it was important enough, to have this thing. And I was really hoping that it would bring Ambassador Kosh out. But it looks like I was wrong. And they're like, oh, that's really sad because he just really wanted to see a Vorlon. And he's like a really nice guy.
I was thinking that Kosh is probably not there because there's shadows in the audience.
Oh, definitely could be.
Yeah.
Because the last time he met Morden, his encounter suit got damaged.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he might not get another chance to see a Vorlon. Aw, but I guess it was too much to hope for. And then Dr. Franklin goes, well, speaking of too much to hope for, look what just walked in.
Pursued by a bear.
And they're not far from Jakar. Jakar's like 5 feet away, and Dr. Franklin's like, oh, look what just walked in.
Right, like, look what the cat dragged in.
Look what just walked in. Mm-hmm. And Sheridan's like, excuse me. And he walks over, and he's like, oh, my God, Ambassador, you came. And he's like, yeah, I see you changed your mind about opening up a dialogue. And Jakar goes, I make no promises. I'll open something up, but I make no promises about a dialogue. I will hear what he has to say.
The scream issuing forth after I stab him.
And then we got to Garibaldi going downstairs, which I don't think I realized Babylon 5 had stairs.
I'm trying to recall if we've ever seen anybody on stairs before. Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
No. They're always in the tubes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at one point they're like, take the stairs. Because there was that scene where the serial killer guy kidnapped Lou. Mm-hmm. And took the tube and then locked the tube. He put the tube in security lock. And so then they had to go try to catch him. And I think he was like, use the stairs. But I don't think we've actually seen them.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the stairs.
Anyway, he goes down the stair and then the ranger's like 10 feet behind him, like doing the like Pink Panther sneak walk. I don't even know what's happening here because then he comes around the corner and Garibaldi steps out from behind a pillar. And he's like, you got 10 seconds to explain why you're following me. He's like, oh, I need to talk to you. And then he goes, about what? And then some other people show up and the guy's like, oh, damn it, I can't talk to you now.
I can only talk to you in private.
I gotta be alone. So they take him away to holding. Keep him there till the reception's over. Great. And then we go back. And we have this. A lot of plot happens right in this little interim moment with no dialogue. Mm-hmm. It is just dramatic music. Jakar like checking to make sure the knife is still in his sleeve. It's a big fucking knife.
Yeah.
That's not a very big sleeve. I don't know where all the knife was, but it's fine. And Delenn is like,
a plot device.
Oh, that's weird. What's he doing? Why is he sticking his hand in there? That's weird. So she goes over to walk and talk to him and he walks off. And then we cut to the Emperor walking really slowly towards the reception area where he's going to give his speech. Mm-hmm. And then he collapses in slow motion. I loves me a good slow motion moment. This is a perfect use of slow motion because it feels like, oh no, you as the viewer are living in that moment of like, oh no, is he going to make it there? And Jakar's going to kill him. And that's going to be the end of Jakar.
Right. And then we see Dr. Franklin's answer his comm and run.
And run off. And then he's like, oh my God, you could have told me you were sick. I could have helped you. I could have done something. And JMS specifically addressed whether the machine would have saved the Emperor. So before you pull that one out, he already talked about it. He said that when he fell, he injured himself. And ultimately what he dies of are the injuries he sustained when he fell.
Okay, but the machine heals injuries.
No, the machine heals illnesses.
The machine healed the guy's fucking shoulder when he got shot by a gun.
We had that
it
talk.
Healed his shoulder when he got shot by Garibaldi.
No, we had that talk because I mentioned in that episode that JMS had said it cannot heal wounds. And so then he had, I know, yep. And then it was healing the serial killer, and we decided what it was doing was repairing the nerves. Or redoing whatever the electrical damage.
Wound
yeah,
damage?
the wound. I know. Table that, okay?
Just don't worry about it.
Just don't worry about it.
I was thinking more, oh no, Dr. Franklin now has his hands on an emperor. But also, Dr. Franklin probably has a lot of experience with Centauri physiology. On my headcanon, that Londo ends up in med lab a lot. Just completely, like alcohol poisoning.
Shit-faced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you here again, Londo?
And so...
Get the Londo electrolyte cocktail.
Dr. Franklin has a lot of experience. So it's like, this is literally the best person the Emperor could have ended up with because Dr. Franklin has so much experience getting Londo back on his feet.
Well, it's it's kind of sad. I don't know that I really was concerned at any point that the machine would have worked, because can it really prevent you from like dying of natural causes?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is it's like his heart or something.
And we don't know specifically what's wrong with him, because he just goes, if I'd known about your condition when you arrived, I could have done something or tried something. And he's like, it's fine. It's like, who cares? Like, yeah. It's fine. I knew this was happening. I had accepted this. That's why I didn't tell anybody. And he's like, okay, well, your government's trying to get you transferred to the warship, but I told them you're like too fragile to move right now, but I need your permission. He's like, no.
That's not important right now.
There is something more important than where I die. I have a message to give you.
What is it?
You.
Oh, quote from the show.
Keep up, because I have a message to give you. It's important. Perhaps one of your people should deliver it, is what Dr. Franklin says. He's like, I mean, if it's that important, then shouldn't you like tell a Centauri? And he's like, oh no, if I told a Centauri, they would literally never tell anyone else. Have you met my people? And Dr. Franklin's like, oh yeah, no, heard, totally got it. Go ahead, I'm listening. And then we cut to Londo and Lord Rifa.
I have it labeled as the Centauri coup team.
I wouldn't even say it's a team. It's Rifa. And
Rifa and whoever he has back.
Yeah,
on
Rifa
Homeworld.
and his coup team. And then Londo, his convenient pawn. Who he thinks is his malleable way forward.
Mm-hmm. Is he wrong, though?
He's not wrong. That's the problem, because he's like already in damage control.
Right.
He's like, word of this has already reached Homeworld. Our competitors are already moving into position. They're going to ascend the throne the moment he dies. So before that happens, we need to rise above the others. We got to do something really extraordinary, something really unparalleled. And poor Londo literally cannot tell that he is being directly manipulated, because he's like, oh, I know a guy. I could do a big thing.
I can make something happen.
He's like, really? And he's like, oh, yeah. You know, there's that Narn colony on the border of Centauri space, is like Quadrant 14 or whatever. Like, tell your people, go check it out. And this is when Veer goes, Londo? And Londo holds up his hand like, shh.
Before that happens, we have to rise above the others. We must do something extraordinary, something unparalleled.
He said, just pick a target.
I'm sorry?
I believe there is a non-colony on the border of Centauri space, Quadrant 14.
Londo,
A colony. It's a listening post. They've been using it to spy on us for years. By all rights, that entire planet should be ours.
Well then, let us take it back.
We couldn't take it without a major assault. We would lose thousands of lives.
I will take care of it. Have your contacts in the military send an expedition to Quadrant 14.
I can only guarantee a few ships.
Right. It will be enough.
I hope you know what you're doing, Malari.
Shh.
Londo, don't fucking do it.
Because Veer's like, don't, Londo, seriously? You fucking serious right now? And Londo knows full well what Veer means, but the hand is like, I'm in this.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to you. You are not, if Rifa's the angel, the demon on one shoulder and Veer's the angel on the other shoulder, he's not paying attention to the angel on his shoulder.
Right.
He's all about Rifa right now. He's like, send somebody there, have them check it out. I'm going to take care of it for you. And he's like, what? That's a major assault. It's going to kill thousands of people. And he's like, no, it'll be fine. And Rifa's like, I can only send a couple of ships. And he's like, trust me, it's going to be okay. Just do what I said. And then Rifa leaves. And Londo turns to Veer and he's like, go get Morden. Bring him here. And this is when Veer is like, Londo, don't do this. Do not do this.
My favorite line is, someday I'm going to remind you of this conversation and maybe then you'll understand.
Yeah. This is another example of when you have the perfect character in the perfect moment.
Mm-hmm.
If Londo did not have Veer, an external representation of his conscience, of his shame, of someone to give voice to how wrong it is, the things that he's doing.
You could almost, not forgive, but you could understand why Londo could be caught up in the whole moment with Lord Rifa, like skillfully manipulating him. And then Londo says, okay, I'm going to ask Morden to take this out. You could almost have some pity for Londo later.
Yeah.
But to have Veer come and immediately check him on it and say, no, I'm going to objectively state this is the wrong thing to do. Please do not do it. I'm begging you. And then to have Londo say, nope.
I'm doing it anyway.
I'm still doing it anyway, makes it so much more impactful.
It's a master stroke. It's the perfect example of why a character needs a foil.
Yeah.
Why it's important for certain characters to always
have a
foil.
You cannot give him the benefit of the doubt now.
Because there's no way visually for you to represent his internal struggle.
Right.
So you need you need a mirror character. You need the character to come over and go, don't fucking do this. And Londo goes, I don't have a choice. And Veer goes, yeah, you fucking do.
Yep.
He's like, yeah, you do. You have a choice. And I know you don't listen to me, but I'm asking you just this one time, don't fucking do this.
Yeah.
And Londo's like, there's no turning back. I got to do it. I got to do it. And Londo's like, or Veer goes, you're right. There's no turning back once you start down that road.
Yep.
Like, you have a choice to be the better person right now, and you are not choosing that, and I'm fucking disappointed in you. I'm disappointed.
We know that Londo knows he's choosing a bad thing because he says, by this time tomorrow, we will be at war with the Narn. May the great maker forgive me.
Yeah.
Bruh.
I know. That's why Veer is like, why are you doing this? And he's like, I don't have a choice. And he's like, yeah, you do. And you know you do.
Mm-hmm.
And Londo's like, well, do I have to find Morden myself? And this is when Veer is like, no, I'm going to go get him. I mean, I'll get him. But like, I'm going to remind you, you're right. It's a good line. Veer gets a lot of good lines. Veer could have been this throwaway character.
Yep.
He could have been the comedic relief, which he is sometimes.
Right.
But he could have been nothing. Like, he could have been what Natoth is currently.
Yeah.
Just a side character, background character. They're only for narrative purposes every once in a while. But Veer gets some really amazing moments. And this is one of them. When he's like, I'm going to look you in the eyes someday, And I'm going to remind you that we had this conversation and you're going to feel it.
Yep.
And you're going to understand what I was feeling right now. And Londo, I think Londo already knows.
Oh, yeah.
I think he knows full well. But he's not in a place where he's not having empathy for anybody right now. He's caught up in ambition.
Yep.
And ultimately, it's his undoing.
Yep.
Because the ultimate expression of blind hatred is always violence. And even though he hides it better, he has as much hatred for G'Kar as G'Kar has for him.
Yep.
It's just not as overt. When we rewatched Midnight on the Firing Line, and Londo goes through that moment where he's going to go kill G'Kar.
Mm-hmm.
And he has that moment where he confronts G'Kar. And G'Kar's like, the wheel turns, does it not? And they're both on the wheel.
Right.
And it's a really prophetic,
Yeah.
very cutting commentary.
Yeah.
On what generational hatred looks like.
And I think that's a core part of the mythological or archetypal arc of the story.
How ultimately it destroys you.
Yeah.
That no one comes out on top.
It destroys both of you.
I think in pretty much any story I can think of off the top of my head, irrational hatred only ever ends up harming the people who hold it.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Winter's Tale, who loses the most? The king.
Yep.
In any other Shakespeare story that isn't a comedy, who ends up Othello? Who loses the most? Othello.
Who loses the most? Sauron.
Sauron's the real victim here.
No, he's the one who
Yeah.
blindly held on to hatred.
Right. And in the end, it
Was
destroyed
destroyed
him.
by it.
So did Saruman.
Yeah.
It's an archetypal story. It's the thing you see over and over and over again is the character that cannot change and cannot grow and cannot give or accept forgiveness
Mm-hmm.
or give or accept an apology is the one who is ultimately destroyed. And these are two characters locked together in hatred.
Yep.
It's unfortunate. And this is a great jumping off place for the rest of the series because we don't stay here, thankfully. We don't stay in this mustache twirling mode where everyone just hates each other. This is a rock bottom moment.
Yeah.
And Londo's going to do some other really fucked up shit. And he's going to get worse. But this is his moment of this is the first time he has actively chosen. Besides the 10,000, he didn't really believe that Morden was going to destroy that place.
Right.
He knows full well.
He said that just on a whim.
Yes.
Because he thought Morden was bullshitting him.
Right. And he knows full well this time he's going to do it.
Now, this is the first time he's consciously chosen to hurt people for his own political gain.
So he's going to do worse things, but this first moment of choosing this and knowing that he is harming people by making this choice. This is when he starts his real fall.
Yeah.
And then we go back to G'Kar, and Jakar's talking to the TV. And this is unreasonably funny to be in the middle of this otherwise incredibly dark and terrible, not terrible in bad, but terrible in oh my God, it is relentless episode. And it is when G'Kar is talking to the guy on the TV. Kamak, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh my God, I was so ready. I was prepared. I had my hand on the dagger. And he had the indecency to start dying on his own.
I was ready. I had prepared myself. I had made my peace with the universe, put all my affairs in order. I had the dagger in my hand. And he has the indecency to start dying on his own. Never in my life have I seen a worse case of timing. Well, you'd think he could have waited a few more minutes before... Who is it?
Dr. Franklin.
Maybe it's good news. With luck, he's feeling better. All they have to do is prop him up for 2 minutes. I'll call you back.
Never in my life have I seen a worst case of timing. And He goes, well, you'd think he could have waited a few minutes, before. And then Dr. Franklin rings the bell. And he's like, oh, maybe it's good news. With luck, he's feeling better. He goes, all I need him to do is prop him up for 2 minutes. And then he makes a stabbing motion. What is Thank you, Andreas.
Yeah.
I needed this. This is such a good...
Well, he had constrained his future to purely him killing the Centauri Emperor. And so he's trying to fulfill that. He's trying to imagine situations where he could fulfill that expectation.
Because it never occurred to him that he would survive.
Right.
It never occurred to him that he would live through that. And he did. And now he's like, what now?
He's stuck in this sense of like absurdity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's continuing to exist.
Right. When he was fully intending to be dead or imprisoned or something by now. Yeah. And so he lets Dr. Franklin in. And Dr. Franklin's like, oh, I just came from seeing the Centauri Emperor. And G'Kar goes, oh, how is the poor fellow? I was so looking forward to meeting him.
Opening up a dialogue. I told Rachel, maybe dialogue is like a pun in the Narn language. It means like artery or something.
They have a guild for assassins. So I'm sure they have a lot of double entendres related to assassinating people in public.
Yeah.
And he's like, funny, he was looking forward to meeting you too. He had a message for you. And, given his condition, he asked me to bring it for you. And G'Kar's like, I don't really have time for his threats. And this is when Dr. Franklin goes, okay, he wanted to say he was sorry. And G'Kar goes, I'm sorry, what? What did you just say?
Funny, he was looking forward to meeting you too. He had a message for you. Given his present condition, he asked me to relay that message for him.
I have no time for threats.
He wanted to say he's sorry.
What?
He came all the way out here, risked his health, and endangered his life so that he could stand beside a Narn in neutral territory and apologize for all the things the Centauri have done to your people, for all the things his family did. He said, we were wrong. The hatred between our people can never end until someone is willing to say, I'm sorry. And try and find a way to make things right again, to atone for our actions. He said it was the only choice he ever made in his life, and now that seems to have been taken away from him.
I had no idea.
No, I'm sure you didn't.
He goes, yeah, he came all the way out here, risked his life and endangered his health, risked his health and endangered his life, so that he could stand beside a Narn in neutral territory and apologize for all the things the Centauri have done to your people, for all the things his family did.
And then G'Kar's like, oh my God, I had no idea.
I liked it was the only choice he ever made in his life, and now that's been taken away from him because he realizes that he was just that little bit too late. He didn't make it the last 10 steps he needed to make it to be able to say that in public.
Yep.
And no one was ever going to believe it if he just did a deathbed confession. He needed to be on his own 2 feet in his right mind saying that.
Yep.
And he missed it.
Yep.
But he still wanted someone to know. That was a really good moment. This is a good episode.
It makes a difference. It has a huge impact on G'Kar.
It does. And I think it does, even though it's the prelude to the largest betrayal of his life.
Right. And it makes that betrayal hit so much harder.
It makes it hit so much harder, but it also makes him realize they are not one entity. They are not just the Centauri. They are people too.
Yep.
That each one of them is different. Each one of them makes different decisions. And that he has the power to also make different decisions. And he can also...
Right. He is not subject to the whims of the Kari.
Yeah. And it's a thing that he's not going to use necessarily for a while, but it is a thing that I think...
It's a seed getting planted.
Yeah. I definitely think it is. It's a red string moment for him where he's like, wow, okay, I didn't know that that was possible.
Yeah.
And now I know that there's that small chance. I get it. And this is when he's like, whoa, I didn't expect that. And Dr. Franklin's like, yeah, no, I know you didn't. And maybe that's the biggest tragedy of the whole damn story.
Because everybody knows G'Kar was up to something when he showed up at the party.
He was so sus. He was like, hey, I'm just here to listen to the Emperor. Checks dagger again. So that's why he's like, yeah, I know you didn't expect him to apologize.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty fucked up. And that's the end of that scene, because then we cut to Londo having a dream. And JMS
His prophecy
also,
dream.
There was so much. The last 4 or 5 episodes, JMS has said 2 things. This one had a novel, okay?
Okay.
So I didn't read all of it, but he did go on quite a bit about the Centauri dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you remember, but we talked about in Midnight in the Firing Line that we weren't sure if the Centauri actually have prophetic dreams or if that was Londo bullshitting, spinning a yarn for Sinclair. And he said, no, they do. Okay. They actually do. They have a dream. Most of them will have a dream about their death.
Okay.
And they know if it's true or not.
Okay.
So they can tell which of their dreams are prophetic and which are not. And so he is aware when a dream is predicting the future.
Okay.
And so he has this dream. And it
very
is
detailed dream.
He remembers, first of all, the line that he says to G'Kar outside that elevator where he goes, keep this up, G'Kar, and soon you won't have a planet to protect. It's quite a line.
Yep.
And then he says, oh, he doesn't say anything, but he sees shadow ships passing over him, like he's standing on a planet and they're flying over top. And then he sees himself crowned as emperor. And then he sees himself as an old man on a throne, and G'Kar pops out of the shadows with an eye patch and starts choking him. And he also keeps seeing a great hand reaching out of the stars.
Out of the sun. Yep.
I hear thousands of voices or millions of voices crying your name. My followers? No, your victims.
Yep.
And then he wakes up like, oh my God.
Oh my God, what time is it?
Oh, the shit is that? You know, you wake up and you're mad at somebody. Do you ever wake up mad?
No.
Oh, sometimes I wake up.
I've seen memes about women waking up mad.
Sometimes you just wake up mad. I had a dream the other night about, I think it was you. It was you.
Oh, yeah. You told me probably 3 or 4 times in the last year that you woke up and you'd been having a dream about me and you were asking me to do something and I was just fucking off doing something else and I wouldn't respond to you and I wouldn't do the thing you need me to do and you were getting just increasingly frustrated with me because I was not responding to what you needed.
Correct. Yes. And then you wake up and you're like, God damn it. And then you have to be like, that wasn't real. He didn't really do that. You're not really, this is irrational.
Hopefully.
I feel like he wakes up like, what the shit? And then he's like, the time, what time is it? And he looks at the time and he's like, oh my God, it has begun. And then we cut to the battle montage where they're destroying Quadrant 14.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of shadow ships that show up and blast everybody. And last time we got kind of like a, here's a shadow ship. Oh no, everybody blew up. This time it's like, here's 3 of them. Here's them blowing everybody up. And then we come back.
I was thinking that Londo probably had that prophetic dream because the future had kind of been
in flux.
Maybe there were a few different timelines, the way things could happen, but Londo making that conscious decision to involve the shadows with this attack solidified a particular timeline, and now boom, 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 he's seeing a prophetic dream of his participation in this particular timeline.
It may be like every time he makes the decision that it's kind of like in a video game. He's usually doing side quests, but every time he does a main plot quest and then he sleeps through the night for the video game, he gets a cutscene of himself getting choked. So every time he moves farther down the main plot, he ends up revisiting this dream.
Yeah.
Maybe this time the rest was added, though, because did he see the shadows before? We don't know. And this is when we come back, and it's Rifa talking to Malari, and he's like, you're sure it's done? And he's like, yeah, the Narns should hear about it soon. Our forces can move in anytime. He's like, oh, okay, cool. Then there's like one more thing I got to do back home. And Lando's like, what? And he's like, shh.
It's better you don't know.
Baby,
just
you
don't worry
need to know.
about it.
Just don't worry about it. It's just an obstacle. I just got to remove an obstacle.
It's not like I need to kill the prime minister or something.
I know. And Lando's like, cool. I don't really want to know, I guess. And just of all the allies he could have chosen, Lord Rifa is the guy he goes with. Lord Rifa, who tells him fuck all. He's so clearly using him. It's hard. It's fine. And this
so
is
exit
when
Rifa, enter Jakar.
I know. He's like, Malari! And Lando's like, oh God. He tries to run away. He tries to go upstairs and a huge group comes down the stairs. And this is when Jakar grabs him and he's like, I can explain everything. And he just goes, I'm going to get you a drink. And he's like, what? Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. What?
Malari! You!
No, I can't explain everything.
I'm going to get you a drink.
Oh, no, I don't.
I don't really know. And he's like, sit, Malari, sit. It's not every day I have a revelation,
Peter
you know.
sells this.
They are God damn. Peter Jurasik and Andreas Katsoulas were the exact perfect people to be these two characters.
Yep.
This is why every time they're like, oh, we're going to reboot Babylon 5. I'm like, I mean, I'm for it, but also they are lightning in a bottle. They are the perfect foils for each other. They play against each other so well. I can't necessarily name two characters in another television show that have this level of chemistry and who have to go through so much together. I can't wait until we find out why they're choking each other at the end, because I want to have that conversation, because their story arcs are perfection. They are detailed, they are elaborate, they are believable, they are complex, and they are unrivaled.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. You get this in books. You know, I've read what, 4 books of The Way of Kings, so like 8,000 pages of text of The Way of Kings, and you get
these long
Kaladin has gone through this
stories between multiple characters, and you get these huge payoffs at the end.
Yeah, the payoff for Dalinar feels like the payoff that we get for these guys, where you're like, oh my God, I have gone through hell with you. And now we're out the other side and I get to be there with you too. And it is perfect. And so this moment is heartbreaking because Londo Mollari just ordered the death. Or at least he didn't know if they were going to survive or not.
Right.
He literally told Morden, take care of.
Yep. He ordered potentially more than the slaughter that Jakar mentioned about the Emperor's father.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yes. He has created...
Londo potentially ordered the death
of 250,000 Narn.
Yeah.
And Jakar asks him to have a drink. And he's like, it's not every day I have a revelation, you know? And then he goes, 2 of your finest to the bartender. And he's like, I heard something and it makes me think there is still hope for us after all. So after
and Londo knows it's too late.
He knows. It's all over.
Yeah.
That this is that hope is gone. And he has to see finally that moment of progress that he's wanted with Jakar for so long and know that it's all going to go away. Yeah. That if he had just said no and listened to Veer, they could be on their way to peace right now.
Yep.
And instead, he made the impulsive decision to call Morden, not even knowing the cost. He doesn't know what Morden will turn around and ask from him for doing all of this. And he still did it. And then he has to look Jakar in the eye while he's like, I believed your people were only capable of murder and pain. But apparently there's a spark of decency in your genetic code.
So Rifa, he to go along with Rifa, Londo said, I have a grand gesture that we could make to like solidify the whole like political machinations that you're trying to achieve through violence. If he'd agreed with Veer and said no, he could have had a similar scale like surprise event that would also have backed up Rifa's political machinations by actually achieving some kind of peace with the Narns.
Yeah.
And he lost that opportunity.
He could have gotten them to surrender colonies that they had occupied.
Yeah, he probably could have gotten a whole exchange of territories peacefully.
And yet,
that's probably what he's thinking as he's drinking this drink that Jakar just bought for him is, oh my God, I could have brokered peace with the Narns, but instead I'm starting a war.
Yeah. This is all, and he can't even bring himself to say it.
Yeah.
Because he's like, Jakar keeps going. He says it's not much of a foundation. You know, it's just a spark, but it's a start, I'll grant you. He goes, I never thought I would be saying this, Malari, but to the health of your emperor and to your health as well. And Londo just has to go, I mean, yeah, to the emperor. And thank you. This is the first moment of kindness that Jakar has ever shown him.
Mm-hmm.
And it is right now.
Right before the betrayal.
After the betrayal.
Well,
already
right
too
before,
late.
Right before Jakar finds out.
He knows that as soon as he gets news, this is all gone.
Yep.
He could have had this, and it's already lost. And he could have said to Jakar, don't buy me a drink. Don't do this. You don't know what happened. I guess you haven't heard from your government yet, but don't do this. And instead, he lets him do it. And it is, God, I almost cried. I almost cried.
And then we cut to some Narn fighters.
Yeah, and they're like, oh my God, it's all gone. Yeah, it's all gone.
And they see the Centauri coming in. Rifa's several military ships coming in just to check on it.
And then they kill the prime minister.
Yep.
Rifa's buddies. Stab him. And then we cut to the other little thing that's happening. The Ranger and Garibaldi. And it's Zach who comes in and he's like, hey, the prisoner wants to talk to you again. And Garibaldi's like, do you know the day that I have had? And he's like, listen, he just keeps asking, okay? And he ends up letting him in. And the guy's like, boop, boop, here, I have a message for you. And it's Sinclair. Other stuff happens, but what's relevant here is it's Sinclair. And he's like, I'm entrusting this message to an associate of mine who has sworn to bring it to you at any cost, including his own life. And he tells him, look, I'm not just an ambassador. I'm doing some other shit yet, but like, maybe don't tell anybody. Because like,
we're assembling a small army.
So anyway,
trained by the Minbari.
So anyway, I started an army and they're called the Rangers. And hey, that guy's a ranger right there. And oh yeah, they're already on Babylon 5. And like, there's a lot of us and we're really powerful. And like, anyway, so keep that on the DL if you wouldn't mind, Michael. And he's like, oh God, what is happening? I do like that he pauses it and he's like, an army needs weapons. Are you bringing weapons through Babylon 5?
You know I can't stop weapons getting on the station. I've tried. But if you're doing this is a much bigger problem than I'm expecting.
Damn, you found my weakness. I can't stop guns. And he's like, oh, no, we're just moving people and stuff. Like, definitely not weapons. And he's like, cool. Then he hits play again. And he goes, there's a darkness coming. Some of the Minbari have been waiting for it for a long time. And we actually cut away. We're going to finish the rest of his message in a minute. Because we cut away to Ivanova talking to Sheridan. Mm-hmm. And she's like, we intercepted a message from the Narn homeworld to Ambassador Jakar. And he's like, whoa, I thought we didn't eavesdrop on ambassadors. And she's like, oh, no,
but they didn't encrypt this one.
It was on an open channel. They wanted us to hear it. The Centauri have launched a full-scale assault on a Narn colony. And Sheridan's like, God damn it. No. Oh, no. And then we go back to Garibaldi. And this is when he's like, I've been building an army. I build me an army worthy of the Minbari. And he's like, they're some Minbari, but mostly humans, and they're kind of a symbol of our desire to work together. But anyway, so if you could just help them, that would be great. Their job is to patrol the frontier, to watch, to listen, and return with reports, because they are my eyes and ears. When you see them, you see me. And I do like when he keeps going and he's like, give them every courtesy and cooperation. I wish I could tell you more, but like, I can't right now. So stay close to the Vorlon and watch out for shadows. They move when you're not looking at them. That's a good line. Yep. And then during all that, they're getting reports about what's happening on Quadrant 14.
Jakar is getting a report.
Yeah. And that there's a quarter of them. He's like, there's a 250,000 of us there. And he's like, no, there were heavy casualties, but like, yeah, you know how the Centauri are, is what he says. Now that they've taken control, I'll doubt we'll see any of them again. And he's like, I don't know how we could have destroyed our defenses so quickly. And this has to hit Jakar so hard because he knows exactly what's fucking happening. Because he was the one that was like, they're back. The ancient
shadows,
enemy that Jaquan wrote about is back. And he tried sending a ship out, and Londo betrayed him. And he had to know full fucking well it was Londo who ratted him out, so he couldn't actually show anybody that the shadows were back. And then he extended a hand of friendship to Londo, and Londo betrayed him a fucking again. It's got to be like... It's got to be a gut punch because he knew. He knew.
I reached out my hand. He betrayed me. He knew! And he betrayed me!
That the Centauri, or at least this, even if he didn't know specifically that the Centauri were working with them, he knew that this ancient enemy was back.
Right.
And no one believed him. And now his people are at war because he wasn't able to stop it from happening.
Yep.
He was so in character in the moment that he literally broke a table.
Yeah.
And God, he's like, he betrayed me. I reached out my hand and he knew and he betrayed me. Like, he knows Londo's not a good dude.
Right.
But he didn't know Londo was this kind of guy.
Yeah. And so then we get the mirror of Londo going to kill Jakar when the Narns attacked Ragesh 3, but now it's Jakar going to kill Londo. Because Michael O'Hare, Sinclair's speech wraps up. And Garibaldi goes, well, I'll be a son of a, and then beep, beep, it gets a thing, and it's like yellow alert in the ambassadorial wing. We need help fast. It's, and he's like, oh my God, Zach. So they run there, and it is Jakar rampaging. He's like screaming Malari's name. And Andreas is so much more emotive than Londo was.
Well, Londo is supposed to be, they're more of an appearance race.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's more about how in control of yourself you are and how in control of the world around you are. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Narn are not like that.
Yeah.
The Narn are more like, it would have been suspect if he hadn't been this emotive.
Yeah.
And so he has access to a level of rage.
Social permission.
To just
for public rage.
Unleash himself.
Yeah.
And so he's rampaging down the hallway. And he turns the corner and Sheridan is there with like 5 armed guards. It took Garibaldi to stop Londo. Garibaldi being like, dude, don't. Just don't. And Londo was like, fucking fine. It took Sheridan and like 4 guards or 5 guards with guns. He's like, that's far enough. Go back to your quarters. Just go and I won't press any charges. I mean it, Jakar. You need to go. And he goes, they're doing it to us again. But he like screams it.
Yeah.
It's such a good moment because he's like, it's happening again. And I have to tell you, It's happening again hits.
Yep.
So the impotent rage, the like, I know killing Londo will stop nothing, but I have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I have to act.
Yeah.
I am so, he feels so powerless in that moment to stop anything because it's already happened.
Yeah.
And the hopelessness and the impotence, but just the way that manifests as like, I will literally, I don't care. I'll choke him. I'll choke a bitch. That will help. It'll make me feel better, even if it does nothing, even if it kills me, because I cannot stand idly by and simply watch all this happen again. It hits a little differently now.
Yeah.
Now that we've all kind of gone through again, you're doing it to us again moment. And he's like, step aside, Sheridan. I'm not going to let this happen again. I'm going to take care of this. And he's like, no, you're going to need all the help that you can get. And if you step 1 foot in Ambassador Malari's quarters, you're either going to be dead or you're going to be gone. And
either way, you won't help your people.
Yeah. Then you really will be impotent.
Yeah.
You really will not be able to act.
And I really liked this line when he says, you're going to have to decide what's more important to you, Jakar, revenge or saving the lives of your people.
Right. Because he keeps screaming. He's like, they're going to kill everyone. Don't you understand? They've already done it. They've done it before. And then he screams and he goes to punch, but then he punches the wall and he just collapses. And so they run up to arrest him. And he's like, Sheridan's like, no, leave him. Just leave him. God,
and
he's like crying
it's kind of
against
sad
the wall.
that they just leave him there.
Well, he doesn't.
I thought maybe they should call the Toth or something.
I don't think they just leave him. I think the point was like, don't arrest him. Just
give him space. Yeah.
let him have this moment.
Because I think Sheridan appreciates that this rage is justified.
Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah,
he can't let him do it.
Right,
but he gets it. And then we come back to Dr. Franklin and the Emperor. And Dr. Franklin's like, is there anything you want? Like, can I get you anything? And he's like, yeah, I want to see a Vorlon. Just really want to see a Vorlon. And he's like, And he walks off. And then we see a shadow cover.
Looming over him.
And he looks up and it's Kosh. And it's like Kosh from like a 3/4 below angle. So it's Kosh like this weird look. And he's like, hey, how will this end? And Kosh goes,
fire.
In fire. And he said exactly what he means by in fire, which is a huge spoiler. So anyway, don't go read what JMS says he means about in fire. It was clearly written after the series ended, and it's like a retrospective moment where he's like, oh, he's talking about beep. So I'm not going to say it, but I was a little bit disappointed. I wish he just left it.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what specifically it's about. I just want to know it all going to end in fire.
Yeah.
And then we come back. And it is Garibaldi talking to Sheridan and Ivanova.
About his new information.
New information, right. And Sheridan's like, what makes you think, actually, I think it's Ivanova, is like, what makes you think we can trust your source? And he goes, let's just say he comes highly recommended by me. He comes highly recommended by me. I like him. He goes, you're holding something back. And Garibaldi's like, yeah, sir. Yes, I am.
They're both questioning it, but when have they questioned Garibaldi's information in the past?
I know. Well, as soon as he says...
This is a little more serious than, or I guess larger scope than what he usually comes up with.
Right.
But...
Well, eventually they're like, I could order you to tell me. Sheridan goes, I can order you to tell me. And he's like, yeah, but you would never tell me anything controversial or confidential again, like, because...
If I told you something that I said, if I said, this has to be a secret, I cannot tell you, and then you ordered me and I did tell you, then you knew that I would always disclose secrets to an order, and I'm not going to do that.
Right. And Sheridan literally goes, all right, go on. Like, okay, you make a compelling argument. That's fine. That's fine. And he goes, since New Year's, we've been hearing about this new major race on the prowl, and my source tells me that the rumors are true. And that they have some kind of link to the Centauri government. But I don't know what that link is, just that they're definitely getting support. And Sheridan's like, okay, so you think this was the race that was behind the assault on Quadrant 14? And he's like, I mean, maybe. And Sheridan says, if it's true, they won't want that information to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And Ivanova's like, information? We don't have information. We have supposition. And Sheridan goes, Sheridan rule number 29, always make your opponent think you know more than you do. And I looked it up because I wanted him to have like the Ferengi rules. Like I wanted him to have a list. He does not. That is the only time he gives a
numbered
number.
rules means he wrote them down and then numbered them. Somewhere. But
if anyone wrote down his life philosophy and numbered it, it was Sheridan. And he's like, okay, so if your source is right, we might be able to play a bluff. And this is when we cut to them talking, Rifa and Londo talking to the Emperor. And he's laying there like dying. And they're like, we have great news. We killed 250,000 Narn.
We took back that colony. Yay! And the Emperor's like,
the fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck. He knew it was too late, but I think it's just like, God damn it. Because then he's like, he starts to say something and Rifa's like, ooh,
and
ooh.
He waves off Rifa.
He like punts Rifa away. He's like, not you. Fuck you. And then he's like, Londo, come here. And so then he tells him, you're damned.
You're both damned.
You're both damned. And Londo's like, oh, he says, continue to take my people back to the stars. And Rifa's like, no, really, what did he really say? And he's like, oh yeah, he said we're both damned. And Rifa's like, ha, small price to pay for immortality. And then he saunters off.
Yeah.
Wanders off. And then we come back and it's Sheridan going, but just a minute. The look that Londo gives when Rifa walks off, like, what? Who have I aligned myself with?
Immortality?
He's like,
who wants immortality?
What do you mean? I don't want to be damned. I just want to.
You're okay with this?
Here's what JMS said about Londo.
Okay.
His goal with Londo was to create a character who had no power and complete freedom.
Right.
And make him into a character that had all the power and no freedom.
Yep. And he's on the path.
I'm just going to put that.
So Sheridan goes to Jakar to inform him about a council meeting.
I know.
And Jakar's just sitting there clutching his book of Draquan.
I know. It's really sad. And he's just sitting there like, oh my God. Because his worst nightmare is true.
Yeah.
The Centauri are fighting back and they have more power than the Narns.
Yep.
And it's a power that he knew existed and that he told everyone about and that no one believed him.
Yep.
And he's like, we're having a meeting. I've got kind of a thing I'm going to do. I think you would really like it. You should come. You should come. And then he goes to leave and he's like, Sheridan.
Thank you.
I'll be there. Thank you, though.
Thank you for stopping me.
And then we go to the council meeting and they're talking to Malari. And Malari is standing there having to defend what he full well knows is his fault. And he's like ashamedly answering the questions the whole time. But like, you made this choice. But I don't really think, again, that he realized the full implications.
Right.
I think it was an abstract idea. And now that it's happened, it's like, oh shit, I'm stuck.
Right. And they're throwing facts at him. And he's like, okay, well, maybe I could convince my government.
Right. Well,
to let
they go, what about
survivors.
The Narn civilization, the civilian population? And he's like, oh, yeah, we're not going to let them go back to the homeworld. We can't do that, but we're going to find some productive activity for them.
Dylan's like, forced labor camps? And he's like, no. Retraining.
Simple retraining. And that's when Jakar walks in and he's like, he looks down, he goes, simple retraining. We have no desire to misuse anyone. And he goes, yeah, so, it's all going to be fine. And Sheridan's like, I should mention that I just received permission by my government to send observers to the colony. Their job will be to monitor the treatment of civilians. And Londo's like, oh, yeah, they're not welcome. And he's like, oh, they're coming anyway. It's not a welcome situation here. We're just going to go. Unless you'd like to try to shoot down an Earth Force transport. Personally, I'd advise against it. My people aren't looking for another war, but yeah, I still wouldn't shoot them if I were you.
Yeah.
They don't take kindly to being shot at. And he's like, it's okay. The observers are just going to assess the situation, interview the survivors, put together a full report, including as much as they can find out about how the colony was conquered so quickly. I'm sure we'd all be interested to find that out, Ambassador. And trust me, if those observers do go there, they will find out. And Lando's like, oh, you know what? Actually, I think I might be able to convince my government to allow the colony's civilian population to leave, and return to the Narn homeworld.
As a gesture of goodwill.
I love the line. I'm sure your gesture of goodwill will be appreciated
for what it is.
I believe that I may be able to convince my government to allow the colony's civilian population to leave the area and safely return to the Narn homeworld as a gesture of goodwill. That would remove the need for observers from Earth. Wouldn't you agree, Captain?
Under those conditions, yes. I'm sure your gesture of goodwill will be appreciated for what it is, Ambassador.
And they look over at Ambassador Jakar, and he's like, yeah, so, that's great, but I got a communique from my government. For 100 years, the Centauri occupied our world and devastated it, and we swore that we'd never let that happen again. And now they've crossed a line that we really cannot allow them to cross, so we're officially at war against the Centauri Republic. Our hope for peace is over. We are now at war.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and then we come back to Lord Rifa, and he's like...
Rifa's back
Rifa,
on Babylon 5.
God, Rifa's like a bad penny. He's like a turd that won't flush. He's just never gone. And he's like, the unfortunate death of the Prime Minister, unfortunate, totally unforeseen, is tilted the balance of power back home. And we've also neutralized several competing families.
Neutralized?
This is real casual murder that we're talking
Rifa.
about. Yeah. And he's like, that leaves the Emperor's nephew to claim the throne. A young man who feels as we do about the future, and as we will learn very soon, is totally batshit insane. He's such a good evil character. Like, he's punchable on a level that
good.
I'm so ready to meet him again for the second time. He's like, after 100 years, our people are on the right track again. And we have you to thank for it. Does no one want to know how? Does no one want to know how he did it?
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Okay. He's like, you're going to find the new Emperor's gratitude most rewarding. And then they piss off. They part ways. How do you good day, goodbye. And he's like, oh, I'm surprised. This is what Veer says. He's like, you could have asked to be named to the royal court. That would have put you in a position to become emperor yourself someday. Isn't that what you want? And he sees himself being crowned emperor. And he's like, oh, yeah, no. No, I don't.
So I'm wondering if his, not asking to be, ascended to the court is because he wants to see if there's something he can do to
avoid
avert
that future.
His vision.
Yeah. Definitely could be, because he's like, oh, no, I just prefer to work behind the scenes. The reward is nearly as great, and the risk is way less. Far less
than what I'm seeing.
I know.
Yeah.
And then we get Garibaldi saying goodbye to the Rangers. It's basically just like, hey, will you keep me up to date with what you guys are doing? And he's like, yeah, cool,
yeah,
no
as
problem.
long as you keep me up to date about what you're doing.
And don't tell anybody we're here. And he's like, yeah, no problem. Does anybody else know you're here? And he's like, yeah, one person. And then we cut to Delenn. And she sticks the crystal in, and it's like, hello, old friend. And that's the end of the episode. Wow. What an episode this was. Wow. I can see why it won a Hugo Award.
Yeah.
Because this is dense. This is dense. And it's been building. There's build up to this. So you can watch it and appreciate it for just what it is. But then also, if you have been watching and paying attention or rewatching and you get back to this part, it's like, oh my God, what a gut punch.
Yeah.
I had something specifically that I wanted to talk about and I can't remember what it was. That was their largest civilian colony. Did you catch that?
Yep.
Not only did he attack a civilian colony, he attacked their biggest civilian colony.
Mm-hmm.
Why that one? He could have chosen something smaller, but he went
he
go
said
big or
it was
go home.
on the boundary of Centauri and Narn space.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's other smaller things he could have done.
But they needed a grand gesture.
Well, that was grand.
Rifa asked for a grand gesture.
I mean, if you wanted to get the Narn into war so you could consolidate power because you know what you need to consolidate power in a autocracy?
Is militarization.
Militarization. And you know how you get that? You start a war.
Yeah.
You announce that places, cities, colonies are, quote, war-torn.
Mm-hmm.
And then you save them by sending in the military. Kind of like that. God, I'm not over it. We watched this episode twice, and I'm still like, ugh.
Yeah.
If you had any actors who acted even one iota less than these people are putting out, it would not have worked as well. What sells it is Andreas and Peter.
Yep.
If they had not sold it the way they sell it, if you didn't have a character, like Andreas literally ad-libbing destroying the set is so wild. And the fact that he's acting all of this in such heavy prosthetics.
Yeah.
And he just, I can't. I love this. We're finally getting to the like, go part. Like, I love season 1. We went back and watched Midnight on the Firing Line, and you kind of forget how much triviality there is in season 1, where it's like, oh, we're having this really crucial plot line where, you know, the Narn have invaded this Centauri colony and like, oh no, these people are being held hostage and but also like, oh no, are the raiders going to destroy that ship again? You know, there's like
yeah, this episode, I guess the B plot is the Rangers.
I mean, look at the range. TKO to Coming of the Shadows, right? But it all works. Like, it's all they all feel like they fit. Like, some episodes are good. Some episodes are the Grail. You know, there's range. But I'm never like, oh, I'm mad I watched that episode.
Yeah.
And then you get to an episode like this and you're like, nothing is the same anymore. You feel like Sheridan or Sinclair at the end of season 1 when he's like, nothing is the same anymore. And it's not. And it isn't going to be for a long time. Ever again, actually.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a decision like the decision Lando made, I mean, he's a war criminal now.
Yep.
He ordered the death of, he didn't know they were going to survive. So from his perspective, he could have very well been ordering the death of the largest Narn civilian colony.
Yep. All of them.
Because Lord Rifa was like, what if we just did like a big thing? What if we like made a statement? And he was like, what if I destroyed this colony? And he was like, okay, sure. Go ahead. Go off, bro.
Yep.
Every time I rewatch it, I want Lando to ask more questions of Morden.
Mm-hmm.
But I get why he doesn't. I get why character-wise and plot-wise why he doesn't. He doesn't want to know.
Right.
He doesn't want to know. Whatever the cost is, he's willing to pay it.
Yep.
Because he's finally seeing his first love, which is Centauri, fulfilling a goal he's always had, which is to reclaim its glory.
Right. Centauri ascending.
You think about those conversations that he had with like Garibaldi, where he was like, have I ever told you about the time Centauri, you know, there were so many ships, they blotted out the stars. Like we were so powerful. We were so numerous that we were literally bigger than the stars.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he wants. That's what he wants back. And I just don't think the cost occurred to him until he paid it. And then he was like, well, shit. It's not an excuse. He still did it. But it helps you to understand his motivations a little bit better.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's funny is the next episode is like a plucky Garibaldi noir backstory episode. So we go from this to another facet of Garibaldi's backstory.
Yep.
Of course.
The contrast.
Life requires contrast. You know, you can't have all big episodes be exhausting.
Yeah.
If every episode was Coming of the Shadows, it'd be exhausting. Can you imagine if they had done like 8 episodes before the Christmas break and this was the episode you left on? Like this was the episode that aired right before it went into a bunch of reruns.
Yeah.
You'd be like, no, wait, no, come back. No.
That'd get the ratings up.
Oh, yeah. Because I'd come back. I want to be, I want to, and then you come back and it's Gropos. Oh my God. I love it. All right. Well, I guess we could probably just leave it here. We live for the one.
We would die for the one.
Until next time, friends.
Bye.
Stay close to the Vorlon and watch out for shadows. They move when you're not looking at them.
It has begun.